And by the way, hope everyone's doing well today.
Likewise.
Same to you.
Just peachy.
Yeah, I'm just fine.
So where we left off, we were in the afternoon of the second day of your trip up river. Um, you guys had done just a brief tour of the ship, uh, of which Arizona Joe was there, as well as a number of other people. Arizona Joe seeming to show a great bit of interest in the ship's engine room. What else happened? Let's see. Lady Sonia Green had, like you said, an interesting interaction with Khan and Pilecki up on the deck. She kept trying to engage Khan in some sort of conversation. He just wasn't really having it, even to the extent of asking if he wanted to go back to her VIP room, which he declined to do. Um, and she accused Walter of not being blind, and he kept up his ruse on that. He went back to the cabin. Let's see. He had an interaction with the purser down there. She came to check on him because she heard he was ill, and he more or less dismissed her. Yeah,
Ask for a tuna sandwich.
yeah, made her go away. Um, and Other than that, there was the somebody attempted to make a magical intrusion into Khan's mind. Doesn't know who. What he did know was that it was most definitely uh, a sorcerer, a human sorcerer. And based on what he knows just of the occult and magic in general, the person's probably on board the ship. Something I kind of left out in that explanation is, Con, you would know that whoever attempted that spell has to know the location of their target, at least in a general area. So whoever it is, it's someone who knows you're on board the ship. And as we touched on, if they were not on board the ship themselves, this would require quite a bit of prowess, quite a bit of power in order to do. Um, and that's Oh, and then let's see. Last but not least, Kyle, Slim, and Baker were kind of putting together a plan to try to engage Arizona Joe, perhaps perhaps maybe pickpocket something from him in order to have Pilecki remote view. Um, you guys were kind of cooking up some ideas there, and I think that's
Yeah.
where we're at.
All right. I just posted the last three sessions here in the
Oh, cool.
little recap in case anyone needs details.
Yay.
What did we say we were trying to get from him? Because it couldn't be something he had recently picked up, or we wouldn't get much.
Right.
Right. I don't think we settled on an item. You just mentioned that it needed to be something. Uh, I don't know what the word is that he's had for a while.
Yeah, some personal
But
item that he's had for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
hopefully you could use your one of your talents there. What's that one?
You referring to me?
Yeah, Slim has that one talent.
Yeah. Let's take a look. Well, I've got
It's like
I've got many talents.
yeah, but
Uh,
you've got the one to draw attention to yourself.
hog the
What is that called?
spotlight.
Hog the spotlight.
Yeah.
You, well, they don't have karaoke back then, but
Oh boy.
so yeah, I think the plan was to for you some way to distract him in the bar while I attempt to pull something personal of his. Does he? I don't remember. Does he? Did we notice that he smokes a pipe or cigarettes?
No, neither, in fact.
Okay.
Which
Oh,
seems
cool.
hard to believe in this time period.
Yeah, 1939.
Pull up
Um,
today's sayings. What time of day is it at this point? It's kind of like morning, right?
Oh no, no, we're up to late afternoon at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
yeah, we're just making plans because I think the best thing to do would be tonight, probably in the
Okay.
bar.
All right.
Also, want to make sure Walter's well rested.
So this is day 2 on the cruise,
Too.
right?
Correct.
And we're anticipating another 2 days,
Yeah, another day and a half or so.
another day and a half. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Now it's time to figure out.
Is there anything we need to do before we pull this caper in terms of? Oh, wait a minute. What if? So I mean, it's going to be risky pulling something of his from his person. What if I distract him in the bar and you break into his cabin?
I don't know. That's a nice idea. Then I could look at whatever objects are in there and try and make a decision on which have been around, and then I could go to Walter's cabin and Walter could do his thing, and maybe I could get it back before he knows it's even gone.
That's fair. I
That's a
think
much better idea.
all right. So I just need to keep him occupied for as long as I can.
Yeah, do that voodoo that only you do so well.
Oh boy.
If you start to lose them, then invoke your talent, hog the spotlight.
Sounds good.
How many momentum do we have?
One.
Oh, all right. We'll have to do all right. The only other thing, after hearing Khan's interaction with Lady Green, uh, Khan, I think you missed an opportunity. Maybe. Oh, let me. Well, I'll just ask him. I'm assuming that the whole interaction's been relayed to us and it's been discussed. Just to shorthand everything. Uh, Khan, at the time you were interacting with her and she broke away, did you overhear the conversation she had with Walter where she called him out for being blind, not being blind? Did you hear that or
Yes, I
no?
think I was with them for
Yeah,
that.
you were right there.
I was, yeah.
Okay, so she's obviously not what she seems to be. Maybe you missed an opportunity. Maybe if you went back to her stateroom, you could find out more about her and maybe about all those birds. What's going on with that? Um, no one on this boat seems to be, uh, appears to be what they seem, um, or seems to be what they appear. Take a pick. This is very um, disconcerting. So, is it possible that our British colleagues have someone watching over us?
I was thinking about
Could
that.
it
That could
could
be.
it be Lady Green? Could she be an operative for the British intelligence?
Yeah, like British intelligence that's not part of Section M or whatever.
Yeah, or just maybe it is part, but we're not informed because we don't have a need to know.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I think that's very plausible.
So
I'm not
we've
sure how
missed
we
our.
broach that subject.
I think we've missed a chance to find out more about her. I guess the other question is ultimately at this point, I would have said that we're under observation, but not necessarily under threat until the episode with Khan.
Oh,
Khan, you're the
you mean the
the
like attack on him, the mental intrusion on him.
Right.
Right, gotcha.
I watched Time Bandits yesterday again. Mind control. Okay. Um,
It's such a great movie.
I know. So, hmm, is there, Con? This is your area. All this magic stuff is your area. Is there any way you can determine who might be who might be the one wielding the magic on you, or just someone who's capable? Is there any way to know? Do you have any spells or anything that would help you discern someone's abilities?
I do not. And that question's more for Marty, I suppose.
Yeah, Con, just based on the fact that you are a spellcaster and your knowledge of that realm of things, you would certainly be aware that there is some magic out there that does what he's asking. I'm trying to find the
You did
right.
give the name of the Mind Whisper spell last time.
Yes, yeah, that spell was called Mind Whisper. There's hold on, I'm scanning my PDFs real quick. Because there is a spell called Sense the Unseen, which you don't have, but maybe it's something to consider in the future. I got to see which spell book it's in, but anyway, there is a spell called Sense the Unseen that detects supernatural or occult presences or influences nearby. This includes
How
people,
does that work, though?
artifacts, stuff like that.
Considering it's a different spellbook, I don't think I can jump like that, can I? I thought I had to stay in the same spellbook.
Yeah, I think you do. So I'll look into that a little further. But there, and that's one example I know of off the top of my head. There might be a psychic version as well, which might be something Pilecki can look into. But yeah, there are spells that do that you know they exist. You just don't have access to them.
Okay, I was just wondering if spellcasters exude some kind of energy or aura or whatever that other spellcasters might be sensitive to.
Yeah, not off the cuff.
Okay, so um, Arizona Joe is clearly a spy. It would seem that it would be a terrific coincidence if he was just happened to be on board this boat at the same time we are, given where we're headed. As far as anyone knows, we're just tourists going to see the various sites upriver. Um, there should be no reason for anyone to suspect that we have an ulterior, another mission.
No,
Um,
none, not at all. A group of guys like you,
yeah.
a Texan, a Pole, a an American-ish, and a Sikh. Yeah, no, perfectly normal. Sorry, I'm just being a smartass. Go ahead.
Well, um, all right. So I guess one step at a time. The purser seems too friendly. Lady Green knows too much, and Arizona Joe is clearly a spy, most likely watching us in particular. Isn't this fun?
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Um,
And I will be
well, we
honest,
have.
I really wanted to develop an even larger cast of characters for this, but I really wasn't sure how many I could run at once.
All right,
Good.
so let me ask, Khan, given your particular sensibilities, we have some time. I'm thinking the time to check out Arizona Joe's cabin is after dinner while he's in the lounge with Slim, and Slim is being his particularly charming self. So we have some time before dinner. Maybe if you feel up to it, maybe you could approach Lady Green, maybe knock on her quarters and say you've reconsidered a bit and that you'd like to get to know her better.
Khan will not be doing this, I don't think.
Oh, come on now.
Stay in character.
Come on now. I gotta go.
Let's hear it from Khan.
You
I got
misunderstand me completely.
Now, Inspector, I have to schmooze with a fake Southerner, and I am not partial to that. So we are all doing our part.
I may not engage in, as you say, the hanky panky, Slim.
well. We're not expecting such a thing. I
Well,
would never.
it's tradecraft.
Have you seen this beard? She's gonna want the hanky panky. She's gonna ask for it.
Oh boy.
If she is not what she seems, maybe she was trying to find a private place where she could discuss matters of import.
Well, she could, you know.
Maybe, maybe hanky panky is just a
We
cover.
were privately on the side of the ship watching the waves. She could have said whatever she needed to say. You know what I mean?
Okay. So,
I know she's not what she appears. I'm just trying to find a way to investigate her in a way that would not make Khan feel like he is violating his code of conduct.
well, I'm not. I was not implying that Con. I was not implying that you go beyond what your uh, personal beliefs and mores would restrict. I'm just saying, can't can't uh, someone spend some time with someone without the hanky panky?
In their room? I
Well,
don't know.
Well,
he
I
has
don't
well,
know.
maybe you don't.
it
Maybe
already.
you don't
Oh,
go in the room. Maybe you knock on the door and you
this
ask
military
her out on
policeman
deck
outfit
for a
is
walk.
very sexy. I gotta be careful of my own strength.
Maybe you
I
knock
mean,
on her
she's only
door
a
and
woman.
invite her.
She's only a woman.
Oh,
I don't know. You're expecting an act of what's the word? Um, Fortitude. She'll have to be extremely strong to resist my uniform and my beard, my well manicured
She
cuticles.
doesn't need to resist. Only you need to resist,
Well,
which I have every confidence in your ability.
of course, of course.
But you can. You don't have to go in her room. Maybe you go to her room and knock and ask her up on deck for a walk before dinner.
What time did you say it was right now? It's
It's
afternoon.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's afternoon, and we are just hanging out. Where are we? Just out
you're
on
up
the
on the
cabin.
promenade, I think.
Yeah, we were up on
Oh,
deck
okay, that's right. This is the
making sure
upper
no
deck.
one was around.
Yeah,
We're
this is
just
the upper deck.
we're just cooking. We're just cooking up a plan.
And there's nobody else here.
Not really, no. I mean, there's always kind of people about, but no one really of importance or apparently paying any attention to you.
All right. And when is this thing going down with? I guess it's Arizona Joe that Slim was gonna.
Sometime in
Yeah.
the
Well,
evening when we're having drinks.
Amazing.
yeah. Well, after dinner in the lounge, after dinner drinks and all that. Slim was going to do whatever he needed to do to keep Arizona Joe engaged while
I could try to
Henry.
talk to what's her face while that's going on, or I could try to help with that when it's
Well,
going on.
what I was you can still do that. What I was thinking was that it hasn't been long ago that she made the offer and then left.
I think it was last night.
You could say you reconsidered, but you'd feel more comfortable if you guys took a stroll on the deck. I'm just saying the other thing is we can be relatively nearby if something goes on.
It was this morning, by the way. I
Yeah,
was
it
just
was.
going through the notes.
Oh, it was
Wow,
in the
she wanted to
morning.
get it on in the morning.
Yeah.
My kind of girl.
I think she's trying to get information. Is what I think. I think
Come
that
on now.
you. I think that
Come on now.
you
You weren't there. All right. I know Henry Baker's a ladies' man,
aren't
but
we
you
being
weren't
just
there.
a bit prideful?
What are you talking about? Have you seen this beard? There's only two possible options. Either you've seen it and can barely resist it, or you haven't seen it.
What if, since this is an evening thing, what if you join her at her table in the dining hall?
Sounds like a good idea. I'll have to invite myself.
She eats with the captain. That would be
Oh,
quite
great.
an. That would be a social faux pas.
Yeah.
Let's throw the captain overboard.
Yeah. He's got a uniform too. I don't need the competition.
Okay.
Now, if you got her to invite you to the captain's table, that would be different.
That's right.
Anyway, I'm just trying to get some more information so that we can. We've got three characters we're watching. This would give us information on one.
Hey, we
We
gotta we
don't know
gotta get
motivations.
we gotta get info on Joe's cabin from Miss Whitmore.
And what's with all the birds?
What is the deal with that? They're just.
It's possible we're reading too far into this,
Yes, but
Uh,
it's just peculiar.
or she could be a bird wizard that is trying to penetrate your mind.
The bird wizard.
Okay, so you guys are
Bird
implying that.
brains. That we have bird brains.
So Slim, you're implying that it's probably up to me to smile at Miss Whitmore and try and get information on Joe's cabin.
No, I mean I could totally do that if you. I mean,
Yes,
hell yeah.
either
I'll
one
do
of us.
it. Okay.
Okay, and
You
please
know,
be
Slim
subtle.
hates the planning phase, so he. Oh, come on
Please,
now.
please be subtle.
Well, I'll be nothing but a gentleman, sir.
How
Subtle is
about
my
this?
middle name.
Maybe you don't have to reel anything. Maybe what you can do is write a note to Arizona Joe saying, "Hey, sorry about the misunderstanding at the table. Let's let bygones be bygones. Let's have some drinks. Maybe pass the time after dinner in the bar. Write a note, address it to him, ask her to deliver it to his cabin, and then we can watch and see which cabin she slides it under."
Well, that ain't fun.
If you ask her directly, then if you find a way to ask her directly, then she knows you're casting about.
Well, that's fair, but like I said, subtle's my middle name.
If Slim
Let me
wrote the
think of
note, it would be folded in half, and on the top half it would say, "Do you like me?" And on the bottom it would just say yes or no. And Arizona Joe would have to circle it. Yes, Slim, I still like you.
So I don't know what we're doing this
Okay.
planning in a cabin here or something. Or
No, we're up on the promenade just discussing it.
all right, so he flicks a cigarette off into the Nile, and he
All right,
says,
so you're gonna go. All right, so you're gonna go. Whatever you're gonna do, you're gonna do to get her to. You're gonna deal with her.
"Yep,
Um, Arizona Joe, we're gonna deal with later. And Khan, is there anything you want to try and do with Lady Green, or are you gonna let it go?
Well, I can just see what develops, see where she is, see if there's an opportunity,
Okay.
see what happens. she's not on the deck, so
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and play it cool, but stay. I mean, it's a ship after all. We're all trapped on it, but I'm going to stay relatively close with you in case someone you need aid, especially if someone tries to mind whisper you again.
that is honestly what the part that I am the most worried about, is trying to figure that out. But I can't think of a way to do that without just giving them the next move because I have no way of, you know.
Well, that's the only thing you can do, other than if we try and find some more information on the strange characters to see if one of them.
Well, the other option would be to do some snooping and go into people's personals and try to find out if there's a wizard amongst, like if you're going to go into Arizona Joe's room.
Well,
Um,
yeah, well,
so and Khan can
well, you and
do
I, you and
test.
I could do that together if Slim's going to keep him busy.
Yeah.
I don't know what to look for.
Well, I was just going to say Khan was going to give you a crash course on occult paraphernalia that a wizard might be seen to possess.
Okay.
It won't really cover everything, but
All right.
look
Then
for
I'll return the favor one day. You can ask me about the 20 or 30 different ways to kill a man and make it look like an accident.
with a pencil, with a soft cover book. What?
Well, pianos fall out of buildings all the time, and
Yeah, accidents happen.
um, so okay.
All right.
I guess that's what we do then.
So, Mr. Connors, you're saying you've never played piano before? No, but my dad was a piano mover, so. Sorry, it was Groundhog Day.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a movie I've never seen. Always wanted
Really?
to. Yeah, I've always wanted to and never have.
Oh man.
You know what's
Oh
funny about
yeah.
that? That was
Excuse me.
filmed in the town where I work.
Yeah, wasn't it like Woodstock or something?
Woodstock, yeah, and all over the square, like a block from where I work, there's like all sorts of plaques and shit about that movie.
That's funny.
I remember when they filmed it.
They filmed Lovecraft Country there too, as well.
No shit.
Yeah,
Oh.
you can
Yeah,
actually
I did
see
know that.
Harvard, Illinois.
Wow, cool.
It's too bad we'll never get a season 2.
I know. I love that show. It was so good. Why did they cancel that show?
Because John Majors is a woman abuser. So,
Yeah,
Oh, he fell.
Um,
One of those guys.
yeah, I mean,
well,
he completely derailed that. He derailed MCU because he was supposed to be the next big bad guy for Marvel and all sorts of shit. So,
our brush with movie fame is What About Bob?
interesting.
What About Bob was filmed on the lake where I have a house.
I'm sailing.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. All right, well,
All right.
All right.
back on the
All
farm
right.
here.
So that's it. Let's get on with it.
What? Yeah. So help me out here? Where are we starting? Who's
Slim.
doing what?
Slim's going to the purser.
All right.
Yeah, Slim's gotta find out which room is Joe's and anything else he can find out by sweet talking the purser.
Okay. All right.
Or anything else he thinks of.
All right. So you go sliding into the purser's office.
There's a problem with what we're doing, guys.
Oh.
What's that?
We probably, I think I mentioned this last time we played, but we probably shouldn't split up. Because if somebody was trying to take over my mind and they had succeeded, how would you guys know?
Yeah.
How do they know you
Well,
haven't been taken over already?
I do.
That's why Henry is hanging close to you.
Yep. So I'll hang close
Not-
too. At least we might see
not-
it happening.
I'm on the lookout for anything that might let me know what an attack might look like. In fact,
Khan starts.
That's a good question. When you were attacked just recently, remind me, were we there? Were we around you or were you by
No,
yourself
I was alone in my cabin.
in your
No,
cabin?
that's not how I have it written down.
Oh, I thought I
I
was in
didn't
the
remember that.
It was we were on deck and we witnessed it, and you told us malevolent
Yes,
sorcery. But
Okay,
yes.
my bad, my bad.
All right, so
It'll
Thaumaturgical
look like
villainy.
that.
Thaumaturgical
Thaumaturgical.
villainy was your exact words.
What
fuck
manner of
yeah,
thaumaturgical villainy has taken place? Yes, it'll look
so
like
let me
that.
ask let me ask a question. This is going to be a time lapse thing for the GM. Um, if we recall back to when the incident took place, did we notice anything different in him?
No, no. It was. I mean, you're talking about something that took place over a half a second.
Yeah,
He was
fractions of
aware
a
of.
second. So we didn't
Yeah,
notice.
no, he was
Okay.
aware of the attempted intrusion. He fought it off, and then that was it. And then he informed you of it. So yeah, there was no physical reaction that you would have noticed that quickly.
Okay. So the only way
He might
I'll
have
hang around,
squinted.
Con. All right, I'll keep an eye on you, Con, but understand that I'll probably only know it's happened after it's happened, and you're acting goofy.
so I
All
also
right.
think that
Would they say acting goofy in 1939? I'll say acting strange.
I, wouldn't they say it? What was the word? Queer for acting strange.
yeah,
You
there
are
you go.
queer. You are
Yes.
acting queer.
1939.
Am I?
I'm pretty sure Goofy as a character existed in '39. Now, whether or not that'd become part of the standard vernacular, I'm not sure. But
All right.
anyway,
Well,
all right.
while you're dealing with Slim, I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
Okay,
So, Slim, you make your way to Clara Whitmore's office, and as you walk in, she's at her desk, and she looks up, and she gets a big smile, and she says, "Well, Mr. Hughes, what brings you here to my office this evening?" She goes, "You're just in time, coming up on time for me to close the office for the night. The dining room should be open soon."
oh Miss Whitmore, I and he steps in the office and he says, uh, please you'll have to forgive me. I'm not much for etiquette. I'm so country that I think a 7 course meal is a possum in a 6 pack. If you get my meaning. I, I'm not one for pleasantries or fanciness. So I
That's
didn't mean to
that's
offend you last night.
that's part of your charm, sir.
Well, I appreciate that. He since I'm a little bit of a numbskull, I accidentally aggrieved my fellow passenger, Arizona Joe,
Oh
yesterday.
no.
Yeah, he looks around and he looks at her. He says, I accidentally included extra cards in our poker deck last night, and I think I may have offended his sensibilities.
Well, that is a very unfortunate accident. I'm sorry to hear that happen to you.
Well, when you're a bit of a rogue, stuff like that tends to happen. And he,
She
may,
smiles and says, "I can imagine."
may I sit?
She says, "Please."
All right, he pulls up a chair, and he pulls it up backwards and like sits on it in reverse, and he like leans in, and he says, I imagine you can understand if I would be in a position where I felt I need to make it up to him.
Indeed, I do, in fact. And how do you think I could help you with that?
Well, I don't know what your policies are and whatnot, but I was hoping you could point me in the direction of his cabin so that I could make my apology.
Kind of the realization comes over her face, and she goes, "I see. I really don't know if I should do that, uh, Mr. Hughes. It's you want to make a you want to make a roll.
Sure.
All right. So you'd be doing will. You'd be doing what? Will persuasion, willpower or will, yeah, will persuasion. I don't know if you have any persuasion focuses.
I do not.
Ooh, okay. All right. We'll call it a simple difficulty one.
Okay. Oop. Will persuasion.
All right. Wow. You rolled a four and a one.
Well, listen now, Miss Whitmore. I appreciate your professional code of ethics here, but this is a this is a dire situation. I appreciate a personal favor in that regard.
She she kind of goes, yeah, I've seen you around, Mister Arizona Joe. I know, or she probably wouldn't call him that. She would say, I've seen you around, Mister Webb, and you know what? I'm sure if you're just looking to slip an apology note under his door or see if he's in his cabin, I'm sure he won't mind. He's in cabin. Oh, I don't know. We're just gonna say he's in cabin 27. If you go out the
Well,
door, it's just down the hall. Take the first left and just follow the numbers. You can't miss it.
I really do appreciate this, Miss Whitmore, and uh, and he like begins to stand, and then he like pushes in the chair. Then he like takes off his hat, and he says, "Well, and how is it that I could make this up to you, putting you in this tight spot?"
She says, "What's the possibility you'll be in the lounge after dinner this evening?"
I think there's a great possibility I will.
She smiles and says, "You can buy me a drink."
And he nods. He says, I look forward to that.
She says, "So do
Thank you very
I."
much, Miss. And he nods and he puts on his hat, and he he's like smiling, and he like walks out of the purser's office after bidding her good day, and like after he like leaves the room with the smile on his face, the second he clears the door, his face goes straight, and he walks down the hall real serious.
Alrighty then. So yeah, you've got his cabin number.
Oh, and you generated some momentum.
Yeah, you guys are at three. Yep.
Nice.
Oh, so Goofy was around 1900ish. So the Goofy character was probably named after the word, and then the word took more into, or it came more into the common vernacular with the character.
Right,
Interesting.
but back then when it was in the vernacular, it would not have meant what we thought what we
Yeah.
say when we say goofy. We think peculiar. No, in the vernacular back then, it would have been a stupid person.
Right.
Which, by the way, Goofy was never that bright, right?
Yeah, you might have noticed.
Even though Pluto couldn't talk, he was smarter than Goofy most of the time. So at any rate, Henry would not use that word.
Yeah. All right. So what's next on the Grandmaster plan here, gentlemen?
Well, I will return to Baker at some point to relay this information.
All right. So will that
Let me
lead?
write that in my notes. Room
27.
20. What was it? 20 what?
27.
Yeah. Room random
So,
number created by the GM.
so actually, I don't know. Maybe we're on deck or something where Slim approaches and he says, "Well, I subtly have procured the information in question. Our man is in cabin 27." And he looks at Baker and he says, "How about you and I just go kill him?"
Jesus.
That may become necessary. Let's give it some time.
Slim's getting bloodthirsty. Kind of like it.
Well, I think Slim is he's very defensive of Inspector Singh,
Uh,
and like seeing him get attacked has really like shook him a little bit. Um,
Everybody on this boat better watch the fuck out.
yeah,
yeah,
no doubt.
Slim is gonna start taking some names. Better hope he doesn't get his bag.
Slim's got an itchy trigger finger.
A big trigger.
Yeah.
and he says, "Well, all right, I'm willing to wait it out, but you just say the word, and I'll throw him overboard."
Don't make me get the bag.
So, real quick to reverse time, um, just for a moment, when Slim walked off to go talk to Clara in her office, did Henry and Khan do anything in the meantime, or were you guys just waiting it out?
Well,
Are there people around here?
I mean, there's 80 people on board, so there's always somebody kind of around. But
Okay.
they're not really, doesn't appear to be eavesdropping. Henry continues to try and convince Khan that it's a good idea to at least talk to Lady Green.
Uh, le-
Try and get more of her story since she opened up to him first.
um, Marty, last week I had asked you if the, and I forgot how you answered.
oh,
Um,
okay.
the, the spell in question, the mind probe or whatever you
Mind
want to call it,
whispers.
mind whispers. um, how, does Khan know what it takes to cast? I think I asked you, is this
Y-
something that needs ritual space, or can it just be done like
no, it can
like
pretty
Ben
much be
Kenobi
done
with the?
right off the cuff. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. All right. What I'm trying to do is come up with some approach that would allow me to use my observation skills
I gotcha.
to, you know, like it's cheesy to just walk around and make like 15 observation checks and hope that I see somebody wearing a pentacle necklace. That's cheesy. I'm trying to do it more like, okay, he knows that this would like require this, and so he's looking for that thing so he can link it to someone who might have, like I don't know
Yeah,
what
that
wizard based stuff he could latch onto if there even is any. It doesn't sound like there is. I mean, if he
no,
could
and
just do it like, these are not the droids you were looking for, then it doesn't leave a trace. And I'm sure the wizard's too smart to be walking around with like black pinky nails.
yeah,
Oh, he's a wizard.
that's right. I am the bad guy.
I am the bad guy. Look at my pencil thin goatee. I am bald with a goatee. My name is Anton LaVey. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's not a it's not a spell that would have any particular real requirements. In fact, uh, it's in game terms, just from that standpoint, it's kind of like a one action type gig, and it doesn't require anything really to cast it. Someone could literally cast it from pretty much anywhere, almost in plain view of other people, and they wouldn't even know what's going on.
Yeah, impossible to detect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, um, all right. So I guess we have Slim come back and deliver that information to you guys, and then it's what's the next play?
So is he back? Is he done?
yeah,
Yeah, that probably only took a few minutes.
yep.
Hello.
Hello?
Thinking.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
Yeah. Firing up the two neurons I have available.
here.
It's like an old TV. Well, where is what's her face anyway? She's still hanging out in her cabin.
The last you saw of her, she went to her cabin after you
All
refused
right.
whatever she was
You
suggesting.
shunned her.
I will. I will excuse myself and go to her cabin.
All right.
Knock politely at the door.
All right. Make an observation roll, inside observation with a hearing focus, if you will.
Okay.
an
Did you not hear the
accomplice.
sounds of moaning coming from underfoot?
Not only did you not hear anything, you're now deaf.
Yeah, you have a
What?
complication.
What? What'd you say, Henry?
Yeah, that's right. Um,
Oh man.
so you yeah, so you go to her cabin door and you knock. You hear a bird squawk from inside. Um, a really high pitched voice go, "Who's there?" Um,
Amazing.
a- After a moment, uh, the you hear the lock thrown back inside, and the door opens, and Lady Green is standing there, and she opens the door. She sees you. She says, uh, "Mr. Singh, well, this is a surprise."
Good afternoon, Lady Green. I thought I would present myself and apologize for my rude conduct last night,
It was this morning.
This morning.
this morning.
Sorry, it's been a week since I
Yeah.
thought about any of this.
1, 2, 5. Three,
Five.
sir. Three,
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 so I
Majesty.
remember if I counted.
That's right. Three. Um,
Four
she.
is right out.
That's right. No, 4 thou shalt not count, and nor shalt thou count 2, and 5 is right out. That's
Five
right.
is right out. Two, unless immediately followed by three.
That's right. um, she she says, "Well, I appreciate that. Um, I have to apologize. I'm entertaining at the moment."
I understand. In that case, perhaps I shall see you a bit later, and if you are so predisposed, I would like to extend an invitation to dinner.
She says, "Well, how about I extend the invitation? Attend the captain's table as my guest."
I should be glad to accept. How
She
kind of you.
she said, "I'm honored. Thank you." Um, I'm going to make you or let you make one more inside observation with a sight focus, if you like,
Okay,
as she
We have
closes
3
the door.
momentum.
You do have 3 momentum,
let's use two.
or well,
Yeah.
use one
Yeah.
for an
Use
extra
one,
die.
rather.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
sorry.
No, it's okay. Conan is 2 momentum makes a die. This is 1, 2, 3, so it's a little different. Same system, slight difference. Oh well, look at that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Uh, as she closes the door, you catch sight of a coat rack that is just kind of off to the side in her cabin, but you see it as the door closes, and there's an overcoat and not an overcoat but a jacket and top hat sitting on that coat rack.
Is
Uh,
there anything remarkable about
Not
either of them?
specifically, but I just based on the number of successes you got, I'll just tell you, you'd think they belong to one Arizona Joe.
No.
Dun dun dun.
Oh wow.
Arizona Joe's getting a nooner from my squeeze.
Slim, get the bag. Get the bag. Oh man. This guy's what a maniac. Greatest villain of all time.
I shall smile and excuse myself, and immediately go tell Henry. He's in there. Holy shit! I saw his coat. He's in there, bro. What are we gonna do? Shh, don't look! Don't look! Don't look!
So, Arizona Joe is plying his own bit of tradecraft.
Indeed.
He's plying something, all right.
Slim's suggestion is becoming more and more appropriate.
Slim does a complete double take. Well, yeah, let's do it.
We need more information first before
Fair
we
enough.
turn him into crocodile food. I can't help but feeling that the noose is getting tighter around our necks, gentlemen. I'm getting ready to cast fireball over here.
I didn't ask how big the room is.
You didn't even ask.
Well, are there any preparations we need for this caper this eve?
Um, Good question. Well, the main thing is you guys need to be prepared to keep him busy long enough for me to get in and get out.
Oh, I'll I'll do my best. I love this trope on TV. You know, the distraction versus infiltration. So,
And in fact, I think what I'll do is once once it's clear Arizona Joe has come up to dine, I'll excuse myself and and head down to his room. That'll give me more
very well.
time because it'll be dinner and it'll be dinner and it'll be drinks in the lounge. That's a much longer time period, hopefully. But he normally dines with all the rest of the passengers,
Right.
so maybe that's I don't know. The question is if after he eats, if he goes straight to the lounge or if he wants to come back to his room. That would be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, well, we're not
But
going to be able to account for any of that. That's going to be, you know, we'll just have
well,
to
we'll
respond.
discuss it. We'll be Slim and Walter and Henry. We'll all be having dinner together, so we can discuss the right move.
Well, forgive me, but I got a better offer.
Uh oh.
I'm having dinner with
Yes,
Hot Lips.
I I think you should I think you should follow through and try and learn what you can about Lady Green,
Yep, Lady Green
so-called
In
Lady
Austria, Joe.
Green.
Arizona, Arizona.
Sorry, Arizona.
All right.
Okay,
What's next on the itinerary here?
I think that's it. I think we need to
Moving on to the nighttime.
yeah, we need to and we need to make sure we'll just we'll just do a hand wave to, of course, explain the plans to Walter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No problem.
And so we do need to let Walter know that, uh, again, it's tough that we keep taking this scarred individual and putting him through all this.
I feel so
But when
terrible
I
about it.
but when I Walter's got to know that when I head off to procure an item, he needs to go to his cabin to wait for me,
Right, right. That makes sense.
so that I bring the item to his cabin. He can do the viewing or whatever it's called right there,
Yep.
and then I can take it back and close up the cabin.
Last we saw him, he's in his underwear eating a tuna fish sandwich under the cabin, and his
Well, at
dog
least
got
that
a
was his
saucer of
plan.
milk. Yeah. Uh,
He's he's lucky that tuna fish was becoming popular.
Eh, this
all right,
is.
so
Yeah. Go ahead.
Slim's in his cabin making some preparations,
Okay.
doing some stuff, checking his gun, all that. Yeah, takes the first bullet in his magazine and scratches AZJOE into the shell.
Man, getting
Okay.
getting rough around here. um,
Feels like a prison yard.
yeah,
Like three guys waiting for one guy to just go behind the weight sets or whatever, so he can get
yeah,
So,
changed.
get shanked.
Yeah.
well, so Slim really gets riled up when you guys like, suggest to him that there's like, nefarious spies about, and then when Sin gets attacked, like Slim gets worked up even more, and he's very impatient, so I think he's pretty excitable in that way.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
He's just ready to get it done at that point.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we to shall we say to hand wave moving it forward a little bit. Um, I guess the next step is to have you guys meet up in the I guess in the dining hall. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, all right. Let's see here. We'll just pull everybody down there. I do suppose, and I'm sure Pilecki is going to come along. Um, it seems to be very similar to last night. The atmosphere is. Oh, I don't have the music playing. Oh well. Well, that's okay. We'll just go without. The atmosphere feels very much like last night. The passengers on board, the generic passengers whom we have not named and have no input on the story, seem to be
The
enjoy.
red shirts.
That's right. Seem to be enjoying themselves. Everything is. Uh, uh, Clara does appear as you would expect, and she does her round where she checks in with everybody and shakes hands of some of the passengers and does that whole lean in and make sure everybody's doing okay and getting everything they need type thing. As she swings by your table, she gives a quick smile to Slim, and she says, "Gentlemen, I assume everything is to your liking this evening."
Miss Whitmore, it's right as rain. I appreciate you checking in on us.
She says, "And I will. I'm looking forward to that drink after dinner."
Count on it.
Um,
As she leaves, Slim
oh,
leans into.
Khan would
Oh,
be up there. That's right. I'm sorry. Khan would be up at the observation deck. Sorry. Go ahead.
oh, okay. Well, so Slim leans into whichever one of the boys is there, and he says, "Boy, I'm as hot as a $2 pistol."
Don't burn yourself.
Yeah, Pilecki being Polish and not Texan probably doesn't know what that means. I can
Neither
imagine.
does the English speaking one.
That's right. um, uh, so the I guess Henry and Slim, you're both down there. You can make an inside observation, sight focus, difficulty one.
Okay.
Hold on, sorry. Am I am I with everybody or am I at the captain's table?
No, I would think you would be heading towards the captain's table, or
Okay.
probably yeah, because that's where yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
where that is.
It's up at the observation deck where the
Okay.
captain is.
Where I was. Okay.
Yep.
Later, losers.
um,
That's
oh look,
funny.
two momentum. Yeah, look at that. So I Baker and Slim, of course not Pilecki because he's blind. As the evening continues on and Clara finishes her rounds and leaves, and you guys are eating. It's late, and it's because you're on the lookout for him. Arizona Joe's not there. He's
Yeah.
not in the dining room tonight. Um, I'll let you ruminate on that for a minute. So,
Okay.
Khan, you separate from the guys because you're going up to the captain's table, right? That's your
Moving
invitation.
on up.
That's right. When you reach the observation deck, there's a couple of crew setting the table, putting settings in place. There's a couple people that have already arrived that are drinking. You do not see the captain. You do not see Ms. Green either, or Lady Green either. As you approach, one of the people setting the table stops and he says in thickly accented English. I'm sure he's Egyptian. Uh, says, "Sir, this is the captain's table. It is by invitation."
Indeed. I give him, Khan gives him the stare of the inspector general.
He says, "Do you have an invitation to the captain's table tonight?"
My good sir, how presumptive. I would not present myself at the captain's table without a direct invitation.
He he just kind of nods, and says, "I and what is your name, sir?"
I am Inspector General Khan Amir Singh.
And he says, "One moment," and he kind of walks over to the other guy, and they're talking back and forth for a second. The other guy nods, and he says, "You're here by the direct invitation of Lady Green."
That is so.
He says, Khan's very matter of factness is probably putting these guys back on their
Khan
heels
is
a
like
little
two
bit.
seconds from glaring.
Yeah, that's
Somebody's going to
right.
get glared at
That's
hard.
right.
You're going to have to roll some shit.
He he says, "Well, Lady Green has not come emerged from her cabin yet. And nor is the captain. He should be here probably in about the next 15 minutes or so. Dinner will start being served in about a half hour. Can I get you something from the lounge, from the bar?"
Perhaps a chilled beverage. Something non alcoholic, if you please.
Um, he uh, he says, "Water."
Khan will just nod.
I don't imagine soda has quite filtered Egypt yet at this point in history. Even though I mean, it certainly existed in the U.S. I don't know that it's come this far. I'd have to look into that. Anyway, so as things go according to kind of the timetable, a handful of other passengers show up, and everyone's dressed very nicely because obviously they're at the captain's table. The captain shows up spot on time. Like a good Englishman, he is 100% arriving exactly when he's meant to. And but
That might be the wizard I'm looking for.
Captain, that's right. Right. That's right. He arrives precisely when he intends to.
Um,
Um, Captain Captain Reginald Blackwell. Captain Blackwell uh, invites his guests to sit, but Lady Green still has not arrived. He sees you and he goes, "You are Inspector General Singh. I remember you from the passenger manifest. I had received a note that you were Lady Green's guest for the evening."
Khan will nod and say, "Yes, she's quite gracious earlier and invited me to share your table. I hope that won't be an inconvenience, sir."
He says, "Not at all. You are her guest. It is rather odd. Lady Green has not yet appeared."
Um, Perhaps I shall perform a courtesy and check on the lady, shall I?
He says, "That, of course."
Please excuse me, sir.
So,
I shall motion
yeah,
to her reading room,
yeah. So
or
you
her cabin, I
her
guess.
cabin, correct? All right.
Observation check. Do I detect anything?
Inside observation, uh, hearing or instinct.
Instincts.
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
give it to you.
Let's see.
Sure.
Nice.
I think we have six momentum.
We have
Oh,
more now.
Oh,
Oh,
and now
no.
no, we
now you
don't.
It's
now you
max. No, we don't.
now you have seven momentum. Um. Uh.
What's the max again?
I
Uh.
thought,
Oh, six is the max, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
6 is the
right,
max.
Yeah.
six is all we get.
But
So
Conan has a max too. Oh no, Conan has no max.
Conan has no max.
Right. Right.
Um. No, it's nothing seems out of the ordinary. It's very still.
Okay. Polite knock.
There's no answer.
Do I hear swanky porn music?
No.
Then it's safe to go inside.
That's right.
Oh, I think she's getting the Bond girl treatment here.
Or she's dead.
Which
The
Bond girl
bank.
treatment? Because there's two.
The
Um.
kind where you find them dead.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Covered in gold
Yeah.
paint.
Yep.
Oh, when you said Bond girl treatment, I thought you meant something else.
Well, Bond girls only do one of two things.
Yeah, right, right. I thought you meant the other thing they do.
Probably
But
both.
you mean the gold finger thing. Where you
The
open the door and she's laying there covered in gold
gold
paint.
paint. That's right. The door's locked.
Okay, I will retrieve my friend Henry from the dining room.
Mm.
Psst, Henry, I have a job for you.
Psst. Yeah,
I'll
I
point.
see. I see Khan standing like he comes through the door
Well,
in the dining room, and Henry's halfway
It's
across
just
the
a
dining room,
turban. It's
and
like a turban and half a face
yeah,
right
that's right.
in the doorway.
Yeah, psst.
Henry's Henry's gonna look at Khan a little strangely because I thought he was having dinner at the captain's table. So I approach and
He shouts across the dining room. Henry, come with me, but don't be obvious about it.
This is super secret.
well, as I get up from the table, I look at Slim and Walter and say, "Keep your eye out for
We'll do.
Arizona Joe.
Hmm.
Hey
It's
Baker.
strange that he's not here having dinner. It didn't appear to me that that man has ever missed a meal."
So he nods, and then as you're walking away, he says, "Hey Baker, Baker,
Yeah.
you gonna eat this?"
Perfect, Slim.
Well, I might. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, you can have it.
Fair enough. And
All right.
you
So
be on lookout.
Henry Henry gets with Singh, and we start walking away, walking out of the dining room. I wait till we're out of the dining room before I ask him, "What's the matter?"
Singh will explain on the way.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we get to the door. Um, all right. So I've got two choices. We have a lot of momentum.
You do have a
We've
lot of
got our
momentum. You
bur-
have six.
I've got my burglar's tools, but I get three uses, and I don't want to necessarily use them up on a door. Uh, so before, when we pick locks, didn't we say it was coordination plus
Mechanical engineering.
engineering?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm going to use one momentum and get an extra die.
Okay. Put you at five. No problem.
All right.
Difficulty
It
is one.
doesn't really matter if I use agility or coordination; they're exactly the same.
Difficulty is one.
Oh crap! I screwed it up already. Hold on. Oh,
Wow. You would have never thought that just a Nile steamer would have the most complex, expensive, impressive lock Henry Baker has ever seen. Three dice and all three failed. Ouch.
all right. So can I whip out my burglar's tools and waste a use? or not?
Yeah, that would drop the difficulty down to zero. Normally, we wouldn't let someone re-roll, but in the instance where it drops the test down to a difficulty of zero and it just becomes kind of an auto success, yeah, I would let you do that. I think narratively that looks like it's for whatever reason it's a little beyond Henry Baker, which is a little surprising, but he's sure he can get through it with his tools. I'd let that happen. Yeah.
All right. That's that could be costly later. All
It's
right.
I'm
Well,
sure it's fine.
I'll make sure no one's in the hallway. I'll use my burglar's tools
All right.
and open the door.
All right. The
And I'll make note that I'm down to two uses.
All right. So yeah, you get the lock open. Um. So what
All
happens
right.
then, gentlemen?
Well, I'm gonna slowly open the door
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because Khan didn't hear anything. He knocked, didn't get an answer, so I'm gonna slowly open the door. Are there any lights on in the room?
Yeah.
Okay, without stepping in yet, what do we see?
Well, the cabin is quite large and it's made up of a couple rooms, but the first part is kind of just a main sitting room, and are there's a couple of overturned chairs. There's uh, there's bird cages with a couple birds. They squawk as you start to come in, but there's a couple overturned chairs around a table that has cold spilled tea across it, and there's a body laying half under the table.
Oh,
Wow.
uh,
You're all
can we
surprised.
tell? Can we tell if it's male or female?
Oh, it's as you take a little bit of a closer look, it is definitely the body of Lady Green.
Uh,
Okay, I'll say, Henry, you should leave. We can't have you associated with bodies.
you sure?
Yes, I'll take it from here.
All right.
Okay. Uh, as I turn to go, I take one glance around. Do I see any obvious, uh, signs of Arizona Joe?
Inside observation
Okay.
with sight focus, since you said look. I'm really surprised you failed
Oh,
that pickpocket roll. Or
yeah. Well.
then there's this one too. 16 and
All right.
19.
So I
Nope.
don't see anything.
All right. So
All right.
where does Henry go back to? Does he go back to the dining room?
Well, yeah, I'm going to go back to the dining room, but I'm going to pull. No, I'm not going to go back to the dining room. I'm going to pull the door closed quietly
Okay.
to make it appear. Um, Obviously, it's not relocked or anything, but I'm just going to pull it closed so it appears that nothing's up. And let me look at the outline of the ship again for a second. Well, there's really no place to hang out without looking obvious. Um, um, I'm gonna I'm gonna head back to the dining room
Okay.
and sit down quietly. Hopefully, Slim hasn't eaten my dinner yet, but I'm gonna, in very low tones, let them know what we found.
All
Okay.
right.
Um, and Slim, he's got like a roll in his mouth, and he like finishes swallowing, and he looks at you like,
Is it like that hard cartoon swallow where you can almost see it going down his throat?
yeah, 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 and he gets a serious look on his face, and then and he says, "Where is that slippery bastard?" And he looks around the room, and he's actually looking for Miss Whitmore.
Yeah, you're not sure when, but at some point she left the room.
Okay, so Slim stands up, and he like throws his napkin off his lap onto the table, and he says, "You can't get lard unless you boil the hog," and he stops off, and he goes to try to find Miss Whitmore.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's gonna boil the hog.
All right. So we'll move you this
Nobody
way.
knows what that means, but it sounds dirty.
That's right. All right. So Khan upstairs in the cabin.
Yes. All
What are we
right.
doing, Khan?
I will close the door.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh well, he did that
leave
on
the
his
cabin.
way out. Yep.
I did
I
it on the
will.
way out.
I will leave with him. I don't want to be caught in here by myself.
Oh, okay.
Brown man and all.
Oh, you didn't check the woman? Check to make sure she
I
was
will.
dead?
I will. I thought you confirmed she's dead. No, she's not.
No,
Well, nah. I kind
he
of just
used the
told you
word
guys.
body, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean she was dead.
Okay. Well, before Henry runs off, Con will
All right. We'll
do the
do.
old carotid pulse check.
Yeah. Just do an inside observation. I'm not sure what focus would apply to this, or you could use. I guess you could use reason medicine as well if that is better for you. I don't think it is.
No.
Yeah. Um.
Do I need? Does instincts count or no?
Um. Yeah, I guess so. It's really the only thing that kind of makes sense.
He sort of has a police instinct about bodies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, put your momentum back up to 6. She is most definitely dead. Um,
Mm,
and she has been strangled.
wow. And
Great.
great. My one shot at the captain's table.
Hey, you still got the invite.
Waited a whole day for this.
He was looking forward to that mousse de chocolat.
All right, so she's dead.
Yeah.
Hold it. You wouldn't eat chocolate, would you? It has caffeine in it.
Then let's say no.
Mm.
It's the devil's
Okay.
food.
Eh,
Um. All right, we'll wait for a proper search in just a minute. I don't want to turn into a cartoon of a guy getting busted bent over the body. I just got here. Found her like this. So I will leave, close the door, go to the captain.
okay. Let me ask you this. This is going to be one of those, uh, and it's because it's something that we don't really do that often. You do have the ability. There's a momentum spend outside of combat that's called obtain information,
Okay.
and this I just kind of you don't have to do this, but it's something that I just want to bring up as a GM. At any point in any scene, you can just spend a momentum to ask a single question. And you do have 6, so if you want to do anything like that, or if you just want to go straight to the captain, that's fine.
Well, I would like to do that, but not right this second.
That's fine. That's fine.
Is there like a sailor or some kind of crewman?
I'm sure you could grab somebody as they go by. Yeah.
I will use my most intimidating police voice.
Okay.
Crewman, come here.
He uh, he kind he's so he's holding a tray that's probably got some like empty glasses on it and maybe a couple of plates, and he kind of looks at you and you can almost see him, even though he doesn't, you can almost see him like mentally sigh. And he walks over.
As
Yes,
soon
sir.
as he does that, Khan says, "Hop to, boy."
He walks over and says,
Walks.
yeah, that's right. Well, he's carrying a tray. Uh, he says, how may I help you, sir?"
Khan will take the tray from him. I am returning shortly with the captain. You are to stand guard over this room. Do not let anyone enter it, and do not enter it yourself. Do you understand? This has now become a police matter.
He he kind of looks at you. Make a need you to make a roll. This is going to be willpower, persuasion. Um, what persuasion focuses do you have?
Deceive.
Yeah, you're not deceiving him. So just just willpower observation. Straight up roll, difficulty 1.
Oh, difficulty. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and you have 6 momentum if you want to buy any extra dice.
Oh, yeah. Why not? We
All
have
right.
six.
All right.
So
So buy one, dropping you to 5. Very good.
all right. Sorry, here I gotta reset
No,
the thingy
that's
because I
fine.
forgot about the extra die.
It's all good. I got your momentum back, so that's all right. All right. So he stands up a little straighter, gets a little nervous, and says, "Yes, yes, sir. I'll wait right here."
Not a soul, you understand?
He says, "Yes, sir. I understand."
All right. So go talk to the captain.
All right. The captain's at a table. At the table. He's surrounded by guests. Everyone's eating. They're drinking wine. He's telling he's telling some anecdote from the Mediterranean, and people are laughing.
All right. I shall walk up to the captain
Hmm.
and I shall bend rigidly at the waist and whisper in his ear. Sir, I have an important police matter to discuss with you immediately.
He he pauses for a moment, and of course he knows who you are. At least knows what your title is. He pauses for a moment, and he picks up the cloth napkin out of his lap, and he says to all his guests, "Pardon me for just a moment," and he puts the napkin on the table and he slides his chair back.
Wait, did I just blow it? Should I have come up to the table and in front of everybody very loudly announced, there has been a murder on the ship? Should I have done that?
Oh,
Like
amazing.
Agatha Christie style? Nobody moves.
Amazing.
One of you is a murderer.
that, that, that would have been
Shit.
great.
That would have been great.
Guys, I'm sorry. I didn't
There's
see
still
it till it
time.
was gone. I didn't
There's
see
still
it till it
time.
was. There's still time.
So
That's a
he,
smart
he
way.
he steps off to the side to the rail with you, and like to the railing on the edge of the promenade, and he says, "Inspector, what is it?"
I'm afraid to tell you that there's been a murder on your ship, sir.
By Jove, a murder!
Come with me
He says, "Where are we going, Inspector?"
to the cabin of Lady Green, and I shall tell him what I've
He's
discovered.
he says, "Surely not."
I'm afraid so.
Don't call me Shirley.
That's right.
Don't call me Shirley, Roger. Roger.
That's right. Um, but to get to Lady Green's cabin, what's the vector, Victor? All
What's
right.
the vector, Victor? Roger,
Um, so you take him back to the cabin. The crewman is still standing there with a stack of dirty dishes on his tray.
Can't be sure, but I saw Henry Baker leaving the cabin. But
As he's
I will caution him before we enter.
he says, was the door locked or unlocked when you got here?
I will tell him it was locked.
Oh,
But as a veteran law enforcement officer, I had an intuition that something foul was afoot.
a foot.
Indeed, I was correct. Now,
Uh,
Captain, before we enter, I would like to remind you that there may be clues about, and to disturb the room would be to defile a pristine crime scene. Please be careful what you touch, or move, or otherwise disturb.
he says, "Oh, of course, Inspector."
Now, I realize this is yours, Vassal. You are the captain, of course. But if you wish formal assistance, I am offering the services of the British Army's Inspector General.
He says, I will most surely avail myself of this. Let us let us enter Lady Green's cabin."
Very well, sir. I'll open the door.
All right. So obviously you just left here a moment ago. Everything's exactly as it was when you
The
left.
crewman was still there, right?
Yeah, he was hanging out there.
Some ass.
um, yeah. All right. So you're back in the cabin.
All right. Yeah, it's time to investigate, and also investigate the possibility that she might be a sorcerer or has been abused by a sorcerer.
Mm.
So I'm going to be investigating this with an eye to the to the magical arts.
Got it. Got it. All right. So where do you want to start? You just want to do an inside observation?
Seems like that would
Yeah,
be easier.
mechanically speaking, right?
Yeah.
All right. So just make
Instinct
an.
supply.
Yeah, I'll let instincts apply.
Okay, I will use a momentum.
All right, that
Making
puts
it
you at
3 dice.
5.
Observation. Yes. Submit. Submit. Boom.
All right, put you back up
Wow.
to and put you
I
back up
have
to 6
found
momentum.
everything.
That's right. Um, so obviously, you know what I've already described. That it looks like there was tea being had, and one of the cups is knocked over. One's actually on the floor, broken, spilled. Cold spilled tea on the floor and the table. She is half under the table. Her chair's been knocked over. She has, in fact, been strangled. Um, uh, the and
Damn
the
it.
what's that?
Damn it.
The
Should have broken that angle.
the the birds seem to the birds are just there. They're making some squawks and some noises here or there. As you start to look around the cabin's a couple different rooms, obviously, but as you start to look around, um, that while the birds haven't been messed with, it looks like her luggage has. Her belongings are strewn about. Um, so whoever, I mean, it seems someone certainly searched the room. Either that, or she is a huge slob, which seems unlikely for an upper crust British lady.
Hmm. So, in her private possessions, are there anything that would relate in any way to the occult?
No.
Okay. So she's like the bird lady,
Mm,
straight up. Um, Looking at the tea setup,
mm.
just a setup for two, three. How
Two.
many? Two. So possibly,
Good question.
possibly what's his face? While or shortly after I left, or that might just be a red herring. Too obvious to pass up.
Much like communism.
Red herring. What's
Yeah.
that from?
Clue.
Clue
Oh, Clue. I never saw that movie.
from Clue.
Oh, you've
So,
never seen Clue?
no.
Oh my gosh.
I know
Okay.
that there's a super sexy French maid in
Uh,
that movie because I
there.
see that
Oh
meme
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, there really is. The okay. So look, there's something absolutely amazing about the production of Clue that I have to talk about, except I can't tell you because you've
Hello.
never seen it.
No, I won't be upset. It's been 40
Yeah.
years.
Okay, well, that's fair. So, Kyle, you, of course, have seen Clue.
It's been a long
Been
time,
a
but
long time.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it gets the movie ends with an explanation of how it happened, right? Who the murder was and how the crime took place.
Right.
And then a card comes up, like an old school movie card comes up and says, well, this is how it could have happened, but how about this? And then they
Yeah, that's fine.
replay the ending and
Yeah,
explanation
I'll
with a
resubmit
different
that to
killer.
them because
um,
with my diabetes,
Hold on, I'm having trouble hearing over him.
I have two
yeah.
diabetes, and with that diagnosis, um, they I pay for extra cleaning too. So, but I have to
Hey,
submit that
should we
myself. I have
close
to
the
save
room
the
because he's
image.
having a medical conversation?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Let's just leave
Okay, cool.
and we'll come back in 5 minutes.
Well, hold on,
Oh,
I can
All right.
mute him.
Thanks.
oh, I think he
Oh,
just
okay.
finished.
He just finished.
Okay. So then they explain the movie again, but with a different killer. Okay. And then another one of these cards pops up and says, "This is how it really happened." And then they go through the whole explanation again with a different finale.
Oh, that's cool.
The thing that's amazing about that is when the movie came out in the theaters in the 1980s, different reels were sent to different theaters. No one got all three endings. You got one ending.
Oh, cool.
Wow, that's actually awesome.
So someone in Virginia could see the movie and call their buddy long distance in Chicago and be, "Hey, did you see this?" And yeah, it was great. And but the endings were different.
Never knew that.
That's really cool.
I never ever even heard of that. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Absolute genius. Um, and it wasn't until it came out on VHS that a few years later, probably '88 or so, that you got all three endings in one spot.
They had to decide which one was the official ending.
Oh no, you got all three. It just
Oh,
it
you
just
got all
played
three.
through all
Okay.
three. Yeah.
Yeah, they showed all three, so they'd show one that said, they'd show one, and then they'd say, that's how it could have happened, but maybe it was like this. And then they showed the second one, and then they say, well, this is how it really did. And then they showed the third one. So on the Blu ray, you got all three endings,
Yeah.
one after the other after the other.
Yeah. Truly, truly genius thought of movie writing and movie making that people don't do today. But anyway, all right. So where were we? Where were? I'm sorry, I completely derailed us on that.
The
So
murder
T set for
investigation.
two.
Yeah,
T set for two. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That was a good question, by the way. All right. What other questions do you have as you looked around?
Has anything been stolen that I might have remembered her wearing jewelry, or does this appear to have been a robbery?
That's a good question. And I'm just going to call that a momentum spend to obtain information, putting you at five. And the answer, actually, yeah, putting you at five. And the answer is nothing that you're aware of. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Well,
You definitely get the sense that somebody was looking for something, but nothing of any value's been taken. Like she's still wearing her own jewelry.
I will examine her fingernails. Has she? Does it appear that she has fought back? Could this murderer be marked in some way by her nails? Does
Um,
she have like his hair in her hands, or like does she have any signs of having
Skin
ripped
under her
something
nails.
off his lapel? Perhaps she has a lapel pin or some identifier.
that was a very very good question. Killing a
Man, I
point of
got lucky.
Yeah, killing a point of momentum for you for the information spend. She has, and this is yeah, she has a what. Your first reaction was it was a giant hairy caterpillar, but as you look at it, you realize it's a bushy brown mustache in her hand.
Get the f out of
whoa,
here! Get the f out of here!
oh,
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, so I will. Does she have a stationary piece of paper or
Yeah, I'm
envelope?
sure. Yeah.
I'll take an envelope and drop a hairy mustache into it.
The Captain Blackwell sees you do this, and he says, "By Jove, what was that?"
I'll show it to the captain, but I'll say not a word, sir. This must stay secret, or our investigation will be compromised.
He says, "So, whoever killed her had a false mustache."
It would seem so. Hercule Poirot. Did you just figure that out by yourself, Captain? Incredible powers of deduction. You should work for me.
Oh,
he
that's a good
he
one, yeah.
he
I'd
uh
be a
he
shit stain.
nods he nods in deference and says, "Well, I have read Arthur Conan Doyle."
Well, in that case, I'll hand him the mustache. The investigation is all yours. Not just having fun. All right, so yeah,
so
and
can I?
in her stationery, does she have any? Is there like a day planner or a scheduler, or
um
has she recently written a letter? Are there like the magical imprints of her
um
notation?
I would say no, nothing that you notice. No.
Okay, so but she doesn't have a record of having like, oh, I'm having tea with Austria Joe at 3 o'clock.
No. No.
All right, I will tell the captain. Um, when the
What
good
else do you
lady,
need? You've got the smoking mustache.
The
Yeah,
smoking mustache.
and I know he was in here, and that's what I'm going to tell the captain. I'm going to say when I stopped by to uh, to visit with Lady Green, she had a guest, so I did not stay. But before leaving, I did notice the outerwear of certain. What is his official name?
Uh, Joseph Webb.
Of a certain
Yeah.
Joseph Webb hanging on yonder coat rack.
He
He will
he
be
uh,
the first.
he straightens a little bit, and you can almost see him searching his brain. He says, "Joseph Webb. I remember the
Arizona
name."
Joe, as he's
He
commonly
says,
referred.
"That that that ghastly American."
I'm afraid so. We can't jump to conclusions, Captain.
I
But
do
he's
remember
certainly.
the man having a mustache.
I do as well. And now I think I have it.
He says, "Well, of course, a mustache does not indicate guilt. You, sir, have a mustache, except you still have yours."
Indeed.
What the hell is going on? Okay. Um, all right. Let me cut to Slim for a minute. Slim, you left
Okay.
the dining room and you went looking for Clara.
Yeah, I think he's like really worried because if Lady Green was killed and he saw the way that Joe was looking at Miss Whitmore
Mm,
before.
yeah.
So like I think there's a scene of him like sort of like jogging down the hallways and whatever, like looking for Clara.
Okay. Um, yeah. So this montage, I'm sure you check her office and that type of thing, and she is unless you're knocking on every passenger cabin, of which there are 40 of them, she does not seem to be anywhere on the main deck.
Oh shit! All right, not in her office, not on the main deck. Um, okay, so um, all right, so Slim is like frustrated. Clearly, this is not a problem. He feels like he can shoot his way out of,
Hmm.
and he's like really worried. And maybe he's like pacing in like the narrow hall,
Hmm.
and you see him like look down the hall one way, look down the hallway the other. He looks back in the direction of the dining hall,
Hmm.
and then he looks back in the direction of cabin 27
Hmm.
and heads in that direction.
Nice. I like it. All right. Um, all right. So he goes further down in. What's Baker and Pilecki up to?
I'm glad that you asked. Uh,
Well,
after
we can't
Slim,
have Khan have all the fun.
after Slim headed off to find Miss Whitmore, uh, Baker turned to Walter and told him that again he saw the Lady Green dead in the cabin. That Khan had already told him that she was with Arizona Joe earlier, and it's time for us to. He's not even here, so we need to find out where Arizona Joe is. And so I asked him to come with me to head to Arizona Joe's cabin, number 27.
Oh, all right, that works out perfectly. So you guys end up meeting a. I don't know if I would call Slim frantic, but you end up
Yeah.
meeting Slim there.
Agitated.
Agitated's a good word. Um, let's do this, guys. We've been playing for an hour and a half. Let's take a
Oh,
quick minute, if you guys are okay with it, to run to the restroom. We'll come right back. Who
Yeah.
has
Good
yeah.
idea.
anyone have time constraints today? What are we dealing with?
Oh, I just got to be done at noon our time, so another hour and a half.
Okay, all right,
And I can go until about 12:30,
okay,
12:40 Eastern Standard Time.
all right. So yeah, we're good.
All right, be back in a minute.
Okay.
Cool. it's snowing pretty good here, and
Is it really?
yeah, I mean it's only maybe an inch at this point, and I have a husky,
Oh,
and this dog wants to come in and out of the house like every 3 minutes. So the whole time I've been getting up, walking to the door, letting her in and out. She just loves it up there.
I I love snow, but we get none of it here in Virginia.
Oh
Not
yeah,
not where I'm at least. Uh, Thermo, where he is, he gets a little more of it, but not much.
it's
But
probably like being on the ocean or close to.
it's just Central Virginia, the way the weather patterns are in Central Virginia, with the mountains to our west and stuff. It just we for a snowstorm to really hit us here in the Richmond area, it's pretty much got to come up right through the south from North Carolina,
Uh,
and that just very rarely happens. We get almost nothing here. Well, we actually haven't. I don't think we saw snow at all, except for one day we had a dusting one day last winter, and I think before that you got to go back a year to find like a 3 inch snowstorm.
oh wow.
Yeah, it's just nothing happens here. And let me tell you, when this town gets 3 inches of snow, you're done. Everything shuts down. It's over.
Sure, I imagine.
Yeah, they have no one here has any clue what to do with 3 inches of snow. So, all right. We all here?
I'm here.
Hey, Sharif,
Yo,
real quick, all those scenes with the inspector doing the inspecting, that was a lot of fun. That was really cool.
thanks, brother.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was great.
Ain't fun. But soon it'll be time to bring out the bag. I can feel it in my bones. You know what I'm saying? This place is gonna go up.
You
Hey,
guys, yeah,
Marty.
yeah.
I guess I should wait for Marty VP to come back. It's okay. I'll wait just a minute
Oh,
because it's related to the game.
oh, I got you.
I just have to say it again for him, so I'll just wait.
Fair enough.
I'm looking through. So I did some research on Tombstone just in case I had a chance to like ply Arizona Joe for info. And I kid you not, there was like a vintage map from 1886 of Tombstone, and there's a road called Tough Nut.
Or what?
Nice.
Yeah,
Wonder what happened on that road. I bet it was a muddy, twisty, rut-laden, just mud bath.
That's great. Let's see here. Not going to do anything with that. Okay, cool. All right, so we're all back as Inspector Singh is upstairs inspecting. You guys end up coming together in the passenger cabins. I see this as Slim is probably the first one to Arizona Joe's cabin, and Slim gets there and he's considering it for a moment. Then he sees Henry and Walter coming down the way towards him.
May
yeah,
I interrupt you for just a second?
sure.
Please.
In retrospect, was Lady Green frightened when she asked the inspector to go back to her room and he missed it?
Um, Now that's an interesting question. I'll you one of two things. Up to you. You can either spend a point of momentum to ask that question as obtain information, or I can figure out a role for you. Up to you.
Well, whatever you think is best for the game.
Oh,
I'd like to know.
it doesn't matter. I would say if it's a role because you're trying to think back, it would be I would think it's going to be reason because that's more memory based with observation, and I'd let instincts work, or you can just spend a point of momentum to figure it out. Up to you.
It might be important, so I'll spend a point because we
Okay.
have
You have
five or
four.
six. Oh,
Yeah,
four.
go for it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So that puts
I'll
you at
do it.
three. No, not at all. In fact, she seemed perfectly
All right.
confident.
So we'd have no reason to believe that she knew that something scary was about to happen because she died only a few hours after, right?
Yeah, I mean, your based on your knowledge, you would say that she definitely died at some point. Well, this is a dumb thing to say. I was about to say she died at some point between when you saw her and now, but you get the impression that she has been dead for a brief time.
Yeah. And yeah. Okay. So well, I'll let the guys know everything.
All right, very good.
Are you
Eventually,
when you say the guys, are you coming down to the cabin or what is your
Yeah, where you guys are, right?
so like everyone kind of convenes?
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
I'm gonna
Oh,
have
I'm still
you.
with the captain, right? I'm still with the
Yeah, I'm
captain.
gonna have
Oh,
you with the captain for a little while.
okay. Okay. Sorry. I
As
thought it
you're
was
doing your
over.
thing. No, it's
No.
okay. It's okay.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Um,
So they don't know the results of the investigation yet. They
correct.
don't know about the mustache.
That's right.
Okay.
The smoking mustache is it was put.
all we know,
She's dead.
Smoking mustache.
what we know is that when you went to see Lady Green, there was evidence that Arizona Joe was in there. I know that it looks like she's dead and that there was no sign of him when I left. So right now we've had enough of this shady character.
I think when you like round the corner in the hall and you see Slim, he's like very clearly winding up to smash through the door, and then he sees you and like tries to play it cool, and then approaches and, and he says, "I can't find Clara." And
Did you
he,
check her office?
well, yeah, checked her office. What do you think? I'm some kind of nincompoop? And then, yeah,
A non-com poop? All right.
you're the mastermind here, sir. And
Oh,
I
I'm
think
definitely not.
I think Slim definitely defers to you. To you, clearly more tactical mind. It's like I have half a mind to break in there and rip that damn mustache off his face.
All right. Well, Henry will go up to room 27 and quietly check the door. Is it locked?
It is locked.
We've got Luca. Can you sniff out, or she sniff out the if there's an occupant?
Oh, that's a good question. We can have Luca do that. Let me find where's Luca's character sheet. There's Luca's character sheet.
My dog can detect a slice of cheese being opened at a distance of 1.5 miles.
Yeah. Meanwhile, someone breaking into the house. It's fine.
Right. Perfectly fine. Do they have cheese?
That's right. Well, Luca apparently has lost her sense of smell.
Oh no!
Yeah. Luca, Walter, commands Luca, whatever that command looks like, to sniff at the door, see if there's someone inside. And Luca smells for a second, then just looks back at you guys, and you can see it in her eyes. Cheese. So
All right.
next
How much momentum do we have?
three,
Three.
three.
Oh, because he was using some to get information.
Correct.
And he's kind of like keeping his voice down, but he's like, "You want me to smash through? Give him the what for?"
I'll call you if I need that help. Um, Gunga Gunga Lunga. All right, so let me use a point of momentum and try and unlock the door.
Okay.
All right, if you do that, Slim pulls his gun and gets against the wall.
All right. So you're buying an extra die. So you're putting you
Yeah.
guys at 2. Okay. Very good.
Shit's getting exciting. Slim's throwing iron.
Just in case.
Yeah. Succeeded with a point of momentum. Very good. Yeah. Door unlocks easily.
Okay. Um, well, Henry's going to be nice about it, but he's basically pushing Pilecki to the side, away from the open doorway, where away from the doorway. He looks over at Slim. Slim's ready for action,
That's right.
and
If you
the
give him the
cat's
knife.
really out of the bag. The cat's really out of the bag now, so Henry's gonna pull his handgun
All right.
Hell yeah.
and then open the door.
All right. Very good. The room inside is dark.
Who's going in
No
first?
light spilling in from the hallway.
Well, yeah. I mean, there is a little bit of light coming in from the hallway to be sure, but there's no lights on inside, is what I'm getting at. At first glance from here, the cabin doesn't look any different than really any of yours. It's the because they're all basically the same with the exception of the VIP cabin upstairs, right? So
Okay. Is there a light switch on
yes,
the wall? If I feel for it, all right, I'll flick it.
all right. So you
Actually, back then you'd push a button.
you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So these cabins only have a couple of small electric lamps casting dim yellowish light. The excuse me, the cabin has it's equipped just like yours. It's basically 2 rooms. There are 2 beds here. One of them is perfectly made. Looks like it's not been used at all. The other is has been made, but it's not. It's clearly been someone slept in it and then remade the bed, but didn't make it perfectly. Um, Couple of suitcases around. Other than that, not a whole lot to be seen.
All right, so I think Slim is going to enter, and should we have Pilecki stand at the end of the hall, or should we have him in the room with him?
Like have him keep watch type thing.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
We'll have him, go to one end of the hall and sort of run interference. Uh, Slim will come in with Baker, close the door behind him.
Okay.
Well, I'm itching to see what he's got. And he
All right.
like unceremoniously starts rifling through the suitcases.
Yeah, that's the next place to go.
All right. So what we'll do is we'll handle this as a search. It is a shared role. So this would be I could let you use insight or reason, whichever's better for you.
Okay.
With observation, sight or instincts would work as a focus. So I guess the question is, one of you would roll 2 dice and the other would roll one. It would just depend on, I guess, who has the better target number.
I'm at 12.
Okay. Then that beats me because mine's 11 with a sight focus.
I do not have a focus, though.
Yeah, but I'm helping you, so
Okay.
Okay.
So Slim rolled 2 dice,
you roll
and
2, I'll roll 1.
there you go. Slim gets a success.
All right.
Yeah. 3 had a critical success,
Awesome.
which means you guys actually gained 2 momentum because that handles that slightly wrong. So you guys are at 5. Um, all right. So his luggage consists of very, very little as you're going through. Just normal clothing, not a whole lot that you wouldn't expect. Hanging on a rack is a suit bag, and it's when you get to that you start to find something that's interesting. Um, there is hidden within the suit bag. There is a few. There's a few things. There's a notebook, and there's also a what looks like a handwritten letter.
Ooh.
Oh shoot! Why don't I have this name handy? I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I don't know why I don't have something readily available, and it's my fault. There's always something I manage to forget. I don't know why, but it's what it is, I guess. Uh, so now I've got to hunt through my 400 different PDFs to find the right one in the right spot. I'm sorry about
Uh,
that.
no worries. Little handout situation.
The where is it? There it is. Um, all right. So which do you want to look at first?
Um, the letter.
The letter. It's in German, which you read. Look at that.
Yes, it's good to be the king.
That's right. Um, the letter is made out to Johann Weber, and it's only a few sentences. It says that our agents were successful in interrogating the corpse of Ehrlichman.
Ooh.
Nachtwolf agents have failed in Europe. Proceed to Egypt immediately and search for the treasure. This is of the utmost priority by command of the Exarch, and it is signed Albrecht Lohman or Lohman, I guess.
What was it? Albrecht?
Yeah, Albrecht.
Mm-hmm.
Last name is Lohmann,
Okay.
and after that it's comma Prior, Prior.
Is prior capitalized or?
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Interesting. Um,
Okay, let's take a look at the notebook.
The notebook, as you start to look at it, clearly does not belong to Arizona Joe. Um, it belongs to as you just do a quick glance through it, and if you want more information than this, you can roll or spend. But a quick glance through it clearly belonged to Lady Sonia Green, and it seems to be kind of a journal. And you're just from a quick look through of it, she clearly was working for British intelligence.
you called it. All right.
Yeah, no question
Can you say
whatsoever.
that? Can you say that again?
The which part about the notebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, the notebook. It looks like it belonged to Lady Green, and it's basically a journal that at a quick glance, not going to go through everything in details, but it's obviously a journal, and she clearly was working for British intelligence.
Hmm.
Well, how's that for a smoking gun, Baker?
MI6, not Majestic.
Well, we need to find this Johann Weber.
All right. Would everybody?
Uh,
And Slim's like, well, I think our priority is Arizona Joe, Baker.
That
wake
that's
up! Wake up!
that's great.
Snap out of it!
I would like
Slim's the
from
best.
everybody, including Khan, an agility athletics roll. And I don't know if any of you have an athletics focus.
I do not.
Uh, I have one in climbing. That wouldn't really
Nah, it
apply.
wouldn't help. Yeah.
Inspector Khan has failed.
Okay, I'm going to roll for
Oh,
Pilecki
wow.
too.
We have momentum.
Yeah, you guys are at 5.
If you
I
guys,
didn't. I didn't ask what we were rolling for because I feel like it's a surprise. So
That's fine, and
yeah, all
and
right.
it
I'm
is.
being surprised.
All right, let me roll Pilecki here. Oh, Pilecki failed as well. All right, so we got a success from Slim, we got a success from Baker with a point of momentum, and we have failures from Khan and Pilecki. So let me just do this. It's probably not going to amount to
I gotta
much.
believe the ship's about to heel over.
Oh,
Khan,
no.
Khan, do you have armor?
Yes, but to be fair, I'm not sure I'd be wearing it at a dinner party.
No, but you may have armor because of your bronze score.
Uh,
What's your
or I think
brawn?
I have armor because I requisitioned it.
Oh, because you have that leather armor. Okay,
Yeah.
so, all right. So in that case, both you and Pilecki take 2 stress damage
Yep.
as an explosion rocks the ship,
Wow.
and you guys are all tossed about. Henry and Slim, which kind of makes sense because you two are the more athletically inclined characters in the group. Um, uh, you guys grab a hold of something and keep yourselves from getting thrown to the deck. Pilecki, who is not athletically inclined at all, he gets tossed and probably like smacks his head on something as he goes down.
Oh, no.
Con, you're upstairs with the captain when this happens. You guys had just finished up, and and both you and he get knocked to the floor of her cabin. Um, there's that moment of kind of shocking stasis where everyone's kind of gathering themselves, trying to figure out what's going on, and then it starts. There's bells starting to clang throughout the ship, and you're starting. There's people that are popping out of cabins, going, "What's going on?" You're starting to hear yelling. Yeah,
Is the captain still in this room with me?
yeah. He's climbing to his feet.
Captain,
Um,
the murderer is attempting to escape.
he says, "Good Lord, what
Henry
is
looks
going
at
on?"
Slim and says, "Arizona Joe, we need
Love
to
it.
kill that guy."
Oh,
It's
All
um,
right,
time, Slim. It's time.
we
yeah.
make sure we keep the letter and the journal. Tuck
Get
the
the
journal
bag.
into the breast pocket.
Get the bag.
all right.
So I'll tell the captain.
Yeah.
The murderer is attempting to escape. Summon your crew.
He says, "I must find out what has happened to the ship." He steps out into onto the promenade outside the cabin. A crewman comes running over and says that there's word from Amish. Something's exploded below. The ship is taking on water.
Of course it is.
Khan is casting about, looking for looking for Arizona Joe.
You do not see him anywhere.
Henry goes into
Where
the
where are
hallway.
the life rafts?
They're all up on that upper floor. They're
Yep.
all part of the promenade or attached to the sides of the boats at the promenade because that's the only part of the ship that's actually open to the air.
If you stand
Right.
on the observation deck, can you see both promenades if you look
At
back?
certain points, yeah, you won't be able to see all the way down, but you'd be able to, yeah. Like if you're
That's what
like on the
I'm.
very, very point.
That's what I'm doing. I'm waiting for Arizona to show his face,
Okay.
so I can spear of it right off.
Oh, I love that.
um. All right. Down in on the main deck, what are you three up to?
Well, we're going to help Walter up off the floor
Right.
of the of the passageway, um, and I think we're going to head up on deck. First, I'm going to look at Slim. Slim, this can't be good.
So Slim,
We don't know we're taking on water yet, but
yeah,
No.
it was a big bada boom.
Speaking of which, my
Slim,
wife and I
Slim.
just saw that in theaters on Sunday.
Oh yeah,
Fifth
the
Element.
re-release.
Yeah.
Theaters, really.
I
Yeah.
love. So Slim, he like whips off his jacket and hat and like unbuttons his shirt and is like uh, rolling his sleeves and he says to Baker, I think it's about time I got my guns. I don't want to lose them. And as he's like adjusting all of his clothing here, like the the amulet that he's wearing around his neck, kind of like pops out of his shirt, and he like
Uh,
holds it for a second, and he looks at Baker and he says, "Well, I think maybe we should look after Miss Whitmore first." And then he,
you need
Nice,
you need to you
nice.
need to
hmm?
you need
Sorry, Slim's grown up.
to you need to secure your bag,
All right, and he looks at you, and then
and then we'll get out on deck and we'll find her.
he he slips the amulet back in his shirt and nods, and he says, "Guns it is."
We may have use of those soon. All
Are-
right, so um, that passageway opens up on basically all the cabins, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. Frankly, Henry can't think of anything in his cabin that he needs other than some clothes, which he can always replace. Uh, I guess he, I guess he grabs Walter and calls Luca, and we start heading down the passageway to go up on deck
Okay. All right.
because we got all we know is a big boom, and everyone was thrown around, which usually for a ship is a bad thing.
Yeah.
But we don't know how bad it is. We don't know what's going on yet. So we got to get out in the open so we can see what's going on.
Yeah. So as
Meanwhile, obviously keeping our eye peeled for Arizona Joe, but
of course,
obviously we think he's the cause of it.
and Slim's getting his bag in the meantime.
You
Yeah.
got that right.
So there's a the commotion is increasing. There's people running around. There's bells ringing everywhere throughout the steamer. You see crew people that are starting to turn up, that are starting to usher people towards the stairs up towards the upper deck. There's a couple crewmen that are appearing from the lower deck, and they're kind of they're black and covered in soot and stuff like that. Um, their uniforms, faces, hands, stuff like that. The as you guys make it up to the observation deck, the engineer Amish, he's talking with the captain, um, and the captain turns to his first mate, the Egyptian guy, and says, "That's it. Make sure we get everybody, all of the passengers. Get them all up here immediately. We have to abandon ship. We're sinking. There's nothing that can stop it." Amish is, "You're right, Captain. She blew apart." You know, um,
Perfect.
and but he at the same time he's convinced that there was nothing wrong with that engine. He is convinced that somebody has caused something to
Can
somebody has sabotaged that engine.
can Amish at least get us impulse power?
I can have you auxiliary power in a few minutes. To
One
which the
minute.
only correct answer is,
One
we
minute.
don't have a few minutes.
You've got 20 seconds,
that's,
Amish.
that's right.
20 seconds. Fuck.
That's right.
All right. When we get up on the deck, are any lifeboats missing?
No, no, and the crew are starting to work to get them, pulled off of their retaining hooks and getting them untied and stuff like that.
Can we see Arizona Joe anywhere on deck?
No,
Uh, Henry's gonna. Well, it's nighttime, so it's kind of dark, right?
yeah.
Do we have a moon? Do we have
Yes,
any moonlight?
you do have moonlight.
All right. Henry's going to look out across the water, across, over the sides of the boat and the rear, and see if he sees anything or anyone in the water.
Inside observation, sight focus. It is night. We're going to make it a difficulty two.
And I'm going to do a momentum spend since we have six.
Yeah, to gain an extra die. Very good.
Yeah.
Go. Good call.
I'm I'm trying to decide if I should burn three momentum and get two dice. But let's go
We,
with it.
we need
Let's
to
go with
find
the.
this guy. So if you think he's in the water, man, maybe it's a good idea.
I think he might have.
We need to find him. It's really important.
Okay. All right, so
All right.
going with
Um,
four dice total then.
I am. Our momentum will be down to three though.
Okay.
All right. Hold on a second. I got screwed up here. All right.
There you go. All right. One success. No, you do not see. Oh, you had. Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Oh, sorry. I did it wrong. Let me do it again. You
Okay.
said two.
Two
All right.
difficulty. Yep. Because
First of all, I had the wrong number of dice.
oh, you did have the wrong number of dice.
Yeah.
All right, you
It's
totally screwed that up.
observation. I totally screwed it up. The focus does apply,
Yeah.
but the difficulty's two. All right.
Yeah. Start again. Oh, there you go. All right, perfect. Um, no, there you don't see anything that looks like anyone in the water swimming. They're maybe out by the banks. There might be a little bit of movement, wild animals. But
And certainly no boats of any kind in the water.
no, no, not at all. Not at all. Huge plume of black smoke is rising from the aft of the ship, and it's definitely starting to list that way. The Captain Blackwell, comes over to Sing, and he says, "Inspector, I need your help.
Of course, Captain. What can I do?
We know we lost two men below decks when the engine room went. But we're rounding up the rest of the crew now. We believe we have everyone except we're missing one person. We're missing my purser, Miss Clara Whitmore."
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
I also do not see our primary suspect.
He says,
There's a
"No."
good chance they're together. I'm saying that fully out of my own anus. Because I have no real reason to believe that. But I'm going to
A
say
complete rectal extraction.
That's right.
our chief theory is nothing but a rectal extraction.
That's right. He said, "Would you please go below decks and look for her?"
I shall.
All right.
Where
All
are
right.
my friends, by the way?
Um.
Oh,
Well, Slim
are they all
is.
together?
Well, they Pilecki and Henry are with
Henry.
you. Slim should be up in a moment because he went back to the cabin to secure his stuff.
Yeah, I imagine a real fight trying to get that bag out from under the bunk.
Yeah.
It's so heavy. What do you have in here?
uh,
It's not heavy. It's my brother. Um, okay,
Slim's
so
little brother is in the bag.
Slim's little brother. That's how he euphemistically talks about his big gun. Um, all right, so Henry Henry asked Walter to stay there and look for Slim and make sure Slim gets on deck okay, and Henry will go with Sing.
Okay. All right. So you guys just head towards the nearest steps down below decks, I assume.
Yeah.
Which would have you guys basically run into Slim right about the time that he's coming up to you guys. So you guys are down on the you're down on the main deck, just outside the purser's office, and yeah, I mean there's few people around at this point. Most of the ship crew have gotten everybody upstairs. There's a couple stragglers that are making their way up the steps. The boat is probably leaning aft about 30 degrees or so, which is kind of creating a steep situation. There's some smoke that is climbing upward and trying to fill the halls.
Okay, well, not that I didn't believe Slim and all. Well, Slim, Walter's up on the upper deck. See to him. We're still hunting for Arizona Joe and Clara. We will uh, we will make all haste. He opens the door to the purser's office to look inside. Uh, I don't remember. This office basically was small. Did it have any closets or anything?
No,
He takes a quick look behind the desk to make sure there's no one on the floor under the desk.
no.
All right, out of the office. Uh,
as you're running down the
yeah.
hall, like in the other direction, Slim's like, well, wait a minute. Wait, Miss Whitmore's gone?
Well, we never found her yet.
What, what do you want me to do upstairs?
Make sure. Well, you're carrying that big old bag full of guns. I
Well, you,
don't want it to weigh you down, but we need to protect that. Uh, I don't think three is going to help us look any better than two. You need to get with Walter and stick with Walter.
all right, but you flush him out because I am madder than a billy goat in a pepper patch.
By the way, I'm
Fuck
imagining
on the carpet.
Walter. I'm imagining Walter like fully giving up on the blind man thing, like
Oh yeah.
like totally unapologetically with his black glasses, but like doing shit like pulling on ropes and you know like participating in there. And people are like, "What? This blind guy's been faking it the whole time, but nobody's gonna say shit because the shit's shaking."
Hey,
It's so awkward.
warm, buddy.
All right.
You're like
So
a guy getting out of a wheelchair.
He's
You know
helping,
what I mean?
he's helping launch the boats.
You're like at an amusement park and there's a fire and a guy just gets out of the wheelchair and starts running.
that's awful.
Guy's been faking it all day. So he can have free access to the captain's table.
Trading places.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, trading places. I can
Do you have
see.
rope?
I have legs.
Catching ropes and throwing ropes and stuff.
So, Con and Baker, whereabouts are you guys going to head to look for Clara?
Well, um, we can run down the purser's office is on the same deck with the cabins, right?
Yes, it is.
So I don't think it's a big deal to run down the passageway and glance in each room as we go by.
Okay.
and then head down a gangway there at the front. I think there it looks like in your rudimentary sketch, there's one at the front of the ship,
Right, right.
down a down stairwell. So we're gonna head down.
Okay. So as you're doing that, and Slim's gonna head up the steps to go up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's grumpy about it, but yeah, he'll go upstairs.
All right. Well, um, Slim, as you go to head upstairs, I want you to make inside observation with a listen focus if you have it.
All right.
And you guys have 5 momentum.
There we go.
Oh, wow. Now you have 6 momentum. Um, you start to head upstairs with your big bag, and um, you stop for just a moment. You swear you hear a woman's voice calling for help coming from down the steps from the lower deck.
All right. He like he's struggling with this duffel bag. He stops and he hears this, and he feels bad about. He's like really conflicted about like going for his equipment over helping people, and he turns back and he tries to locate the sound of the voice.
Okay.
That's my boy.
Yep.
All right. So
Doing the right thing.
Henry and Singh pop out down there, um, and Slim pops out right there. Slim, you all pop out in ship storage. There's boxes and crates and larger larger luggage that doesn't really fit in people's rooms and stuff like that. Extra ship stores, that type of thing, all down here, and it's all in disarray. There's crates and stuff everywhere because obviously the ship is sinking, and there was that big explosion that probably knocked a whole bunch of it free. Sing and Khan, as you guys, or Sing and Khan, or same guys, Sing and Henry, as you guys get down there, you also hear the voice calling for help. It's coming from somewhere in storage. Slim, you come down these steps,
Yeah.
and sure enough, there's Clara. She's right there. She is pinned beneath a large wooden crate.
And he yells out, "Miss Whitmore!" And he drops the duffel bag, and he like runs into towards the crate. And how is she pinned?
She's kind of it's like it doesn't look like it's fallen completely on her, but she's kind of laying on her side, and the crate has fallen from above and wedged in against two others. So it's not like it crushed her to the floor, but she can't seem to get out from under it.
Okay. Um, all right. So he says, well, don't you worry now. I'll have you out in two shakes of a leg." And he's like looking at this giant crate, and he is this movable under with manpower, or
Yeah,
how is that?
it would be Brawn Athletics difficulty 2
Okay.
with a focus in lifting if you have it.
All right. Brawn athletics 2. Oh man.
Oh, it's too heavy for you.
So you just hear him like strain, and then he's like swearing under his breath, and he's like, "This thing's as fat as a boarding house cat," and he continues to strain. And uh, does he see the other guys? And
Uh, yeah, I would reasonably assume that as you guys get down there and start hearing that voice, you start making your way there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
then of course we'll hear Slim trying to lift that thing.
that's right. So yeah, you guys all come together, and
It's not
there
like
she
he's a
is.
mouse. All right, so we come up on Slim. He tried to lift that thing. He's having trouble with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is, and you guys look down towards the aft of the ship, and you're starting to see pooling water on the deck as the ship continues to go down.
Okay. Um,
come on now, I need help with
Come
this.
on, Sing. All right, so How does this work? Since he tried to lift it and couldn't, does that mean that he can't attempt it again,
Yeah,
right?
he's out unfortunately. So,
All right. So
but
all right.
yeah,
So what
Baker and
is
Singh can do a team role.
what's Khan's what's Khan's brawn?
Khan is not very brawny. He has a brawn of 8.
Okay, so he should um he should help. So he gets one die, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
Uh,
guys you
And
how
guys
we
had
can
much?
six
use
momentum.
whatever momentum we need to use here as well.
All right. So
I got
let's
10.
see. My Henry's brawn is 10. Athletics is 2, which is 12 with no focus. So I'm going to burn 3 momentum and get 4 dice total,
Okay, plus cons one.
plus
So
cons 1.
brawn athletics.
And I just rolled a d20, isn't that
You
right?
just roll one die. Yep.
Yeah.
And con make your difficulty 0.
I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, no, that's fine. You can do it that way. That's fine. That's works. So you rolled an 18, which doesn't succeed anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. But Henry
Oh
pulled it
wow.
off and gained a
Yeah.
momentum. Henry, so Singh is Singh. Slim's struggling with this thing. You know, it's fatter than a cat or
Boarding house
something,
cat.
whatever. Boarding house cat, that's what it was. And, I see Slim stepping away for a minute, and he's kind of heaving because he's unable to move this thing. And Henry and Khan come running from down the passageway and immediately jump in. Khan, you're very aware that Henry's doing most of the work. He's probably much stronger than that suit of his
Good Lord, Henry.
would indicate.
You are one juiced up right head. How long have you been on the gear, Baker?
And you push that, you get that thing lifted and pushed aside, and Clara's going, "Oh, thank you so much," and she starts to climb to her knees. Her yellow dress is covered in dirt and dust and soot and all sorts of stuff.
Slim will help her up.
Henry
Um,
will ask her, look right at her and ask her, any sign of that Arizona Joe character?
She goes, "No, I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him." She looks at the water that's continuing to rise. She says, "I think we need to get out of here."
One
Yes,
second.
we do need to get out of here. What were you doing down here anyway? As he
That's
turns to go up.
exactly what I
Gangway.
was going to ask. You said she had soot on her face. Does
Yeah,
any of that look like it's related to the engine room?
it could be.
Can
Could
I
be.
have an observation check on any of
Yeah,
that?
go ahead.
Because my first instinct is she came up from the engine room and got caught in the explosion.
Inside
But that's
observation with
because I
a.
am a military policeman and I'm
That's right.
always very suspicious. Okay, what did you say now? Inside
Inside
observation with what?
observation with a sight.
Should I buy a die, guys?
You have 4 momentum.
Sure.
yeah, do it.
Okay. Okay, I'll buy one.
All right, dude. My momentum tracker for this adventure is crazy.
You're really using it.
You've been really
I don't
earning it
have
too.
sight, so there we go.
Oh,
Oh, lady. Lady, if you're
wow.
guilty, I will know.
Um, she so you think it might just be from from smoke and stuff. It doesn't. That's your gut reaction, but it's uh, she says she says I came down to get something for one of the. I came down to check on the galley, and the cooks needed me to get something. I came over here, and then there was that explosion. The engine room shook. People were running by. I think I blacked out. I don't remember. And then I kind of came to, and I was stuck here. I was calling for help. Thank you so much for coming.
Have you seen Arizona Joe?
She said, "I have not. I have not seen him. Why are you worried? Why? What about Arizona Joe?"
There's been a murder and sabotage, and he's likely the culprit.
She doesn't. She just gets kind of wide eyed for a moment, but she doesn't say anything.
Well,
Well,
listen
All right.
here. Maybe we should have this discussion in a drier place.
yeah, the water's starting to get up to you guys.
Uh, all right, Slim, grab your bag. You guys head on up.
Never leave home
I'm
without
going
it.
to take. I'm going to take one quick look around down here, see if we can see Arizona Joe. This is the only place on the ship that we haven't looked.
All right.
Go,
Con, you're
go,
staying.
go.
Con, are you staying with Baker, or are you going up with Slim and?
What is Baker? Where are you going to investigate right now?
We have the only place we haven't investigated is this lower deck with all the with all the storage. So I'm just going to take a quick look at what's still above water to see if I can find Joe hiding or possibly under a crate, just like Clara.
Okay, well, he can't go alone, so I'll go with him.
Okay.
I
Um,
can't. Is this Russia?
Well,
This isn't
I
Russia.
mean, the ship is sinking. If like something falls on top of you, you could be alone, I guess.
All right,
That
go
would be
Slim,
fun.
go.
All right.
All right, you
Take
come with me.
her,
Slim
take her to
shoulders
safety.
his bag and he like grabs her hand and like he's huffing and puffing up the stairs. And he's like, you know, I really did help him out there, loosen that up. As he leads her upstairs.
yeah. Uh, she says, I thank you so much. So you guys are going up the steps.
That's right.
And Henry Baker and Singh. Uh, so you came down here and you went through storage. I guess you're going to head into the crew quarters area and start looking around.
Yeah, we're whatever we can before the water gets too high.
Okay. Yeah, as you start to continue searching and going aft, the water is getting taller and taller. It's getting to the point where it's start as you start going aft, it's getting knee high. So you guys are searching.
We're not seeing anybody
You're not seeing
so far
anybody.
because they're
Slim.
missing a crew member, right?
Um.
Didn't the
Well,
captain say? Oh, he's missing Clara.
yeah, he was
Everyone else
missing
got out.
Claire. Yeah, everyone else got out except for the two people they know they lost in the engine room.
Okay.
Um. Slim, as you and Clara go up the steps to the main deck, and you're starting to head up to the observation deck because that's the way out. Um, uh, you hear a voice, and he's speaking English, and it sounds familiar, but it's got a strange accent, something European. And he says, "My dumb American friend, you're you're trying to escape with the wrong person." And you turn, you see Arizona Joe comes out from around the corner, but he doesn't look like Arizona Joe anymore. He's got a very short, almost military haircut. Of course, he doesn't have a mustache on. Of course, you don't know he didn't have a mustache on at this point, but um, and his his he's stripped down to a shirt. He doesn't have a necktie on. He's covered in what? Well, you're a mechanic, so you know he's covered in you know grease and oil. And we lost Slim.
Oh no,
Oh, there he is.
there he is.
Well,
Test 1 2.
Yeah, we got you,
I
Kyle.
got you.
What did you
Cool.
hear?
I heard my dumb American friend. And then it
And then
went
went
away.
out. So coming around, turning around a corner is the man that you would call Arizona Joe, except he's missing his mustache. His hair is different. It is cut very short, almost a kind of a military cut. Very short around the sides, like almost down to the skin. He's wearing his suit, but he doesn't have his jacket, and his shirt is like open. His neckties off, and because you're a mechanic, you recognize grease and oil and stuff like that that's on him and on his hands, like he's been working with something.
And where are we?
You guys were on the landing right outside the passenger cabins, getting ready to go up to the upper deck.
Okay, and he's in that on that deck.
Yeah, he's right around. He's 10, 15 feet away from you.
So he positions himself in front of Miss Whitmore, and I'm hoping like she's on the stairs, like on the way up, and he's like positioning himself in between her and him,
Yeah.
and he says, "You rattlesnake, you're as crooked as a dog's hind leg. You ever even been to Tombstone?"
He says, I have never left, prior to coming to Egypt, I've never left Europe. He says, but I suggest you get away from that right now.
And what's he pointing to?
He's looking at Clara behind you.
Well, there's no reason to be ungentlemanly. Miss Clara, why don't you head upstairs while I dispatch this nefarious crook?
Oh, this is so good. This is so good. He's gonna roll up his sleeves.
He
Are you armed, son?
says,
Oh,
I'm armed with something that your puny mind cannot possibly understand. Slim, we are on the opposite sides of this, but you need to leave right now.
Well, I was about to do so, but I found something that captured my attention, and he looks back at Clara and he says, "Miss Whitmore, seriously, I'll handle this."
Um, so
Yeah.
Arizona Joe waves his hand and he says, I'm kind of calling this combat, but I'm using a point of threat to steal initiative because I'm a dick."
Okay. Yep.
Um, and let me pull up Arizona Joe and let me do this. He waves his hand and he says something and he casts a spell.
Oh wow.
Focus always applies. Submit.
well, you finally got to see some magic, Slim, and up close too.
Oh, wow, that sucked.
Oh my gosh.
He failed hard. um, you hear Slim. You
He didn't
hear
hurt himself.
something. Well, I do have to roll his cost. You're right. You're right. I do have to roll his cost. Um, except now I can't get his character sheet to come up. Shit. 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 Where is it? Cost is 3, which shouldn't really cause him a whole lot of trouble. 2 damage, 1 effect. Okay, all right. Well, the effect is just piercing. He has no courage anyway, so it's fine. So yeah, he does damage himself actually. Slim, you hear for a brief moment, you hear a sound like something tearing behind you,
Oh boy. Okay.
and then you hear Clara say, your magic is so puny you couldn't possibly think you could affect me. I am going to enjoy dining on your flesh." But as she says it, her voice
Whoa.
changes, it garbles, and it for a, in a using a modern term, it kind of modulates. It almost echoes in and on itself, and when you turn and look at her, her yellow dress isn't just dirty from being under the box. It's actually kind of ragged and torn, and it's completely filthy. Like she's been wearing it not for days or weeks, but decades. She is
Oh no.
she is not the Clara Whitmore that you've seen. She is almost her limbs, like her legs and arms, have stretched, and her skin is kind of a sickly color. She is almost 8 feet tall. As,
uh,
as she's talking, she's got her voice, it's like the words, the English words aren't really fit for her mouth exactly because she's got a mouthful of sharp teeth and her hands end in razor sharp claws. And real quick, Slim,
yeah,
Slim, do you have courage?
I do have courage.
What's your courage score?
3.
3. Okay, so normally this would have inflicted some mental damage on you, but your courage of 3 absorbed it, so you're okay. Because you've never seen anything like this before. um,
Yeah, I think he turns back over his shoulder and like his jaw is like slack as she like is this giant monster, and there's like a pause, and he like turns to face her slowly with wide eyes, and then he says, "Well, I guess This scares me more than Latinas.
um, so she oh
Oh
man.
wow. What? Just is this kind of like a werewolf thing, or like what am I,
N-
reptilian, or
No,
what am I?
no, it's
Okay.
it's it's vaguely humanoid, but the
Okay.
the skin is her flesh is kind of sickly and wrinkled. She's probably got a couple seeping sores, that type of thing.
Okay.
She actually, in an almost tender way, puts her clawed hand up to your cheek and says, "Oh, Slim, we could have had so much fun before I ate you." Um,
Oh, oh man.
and
Dude, this
then
is awesome.
and then I burn a point of threat, and
Okay.
she actually charges and attacks Arizona Joe.
Wow.
And she is successful. Shoot, where did my stat block go? I could have just rolled right off of her stat block. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Where's my stat block? I'm sorry. Um, Mother trucker, where is the attack? Ah, there it is. All right, perfect. I don't know why that took me so long to locate. I'm sorry about breaking the immersion there.
Nope.
Uh, Clara Whitmore, damage die 6.
Wow.
She really didn't do that much damage, but she did have 2 stress, so she does, or 2 effects, and it's got vicious and piercing. So poor Arizona Joe's armor means absolutely nothing. And he takes 5 stress damage. And then she sinks her mouth full of teeth into him, like
Ouch.
into his neck. Whoops, I dialed, I rolled the wrong thing there. Oh my God.
Oh,
Um, they're a Slim. Look, you're a soldier.
yeah.
Now, admittedly, you haven't been in war yet because World War II for the Americans hasn't happened yet. But you're a soldier. You've seen things happen, and you've been in fights at this point. You guys have, but you have never seen anything so grotesque and bloody
Oh wow.
as she slashes into him, and he kind of falls back. He's covering up his belly. His blood is just seeping, just running through his fingers, and then she just sinks her mouth into his neck, and blood just splatters everywhere. She moans as she starts to take chunks out of him with her
Oh
mouth.
wow.
Um, it's your turn, Slim. What do you want to do?
All right. So, is are we on the only stairwell between the lower decks
No,
and the main deck?
no,
Okay. So it's plausible that the boys downstairs have another egress.
correct.
Okay. And what is the distance between me and her?
Yeah, you're within the same zone, 10, 15 feet.
Okay. Oh boy. And I'm in a stair or landing on a stairwell. There's no doors to either side. It's just
No, you could escape into the main deck if you wanted to. Yeah,
into the main deck.
yeah, where the passenger cabins are.
Okay. Here I'm looking at the map here. Oh, okay. I think he's going to. Fuck. This is tough. Um, he's going to. He's really worried about Baker and Singh. So there's like this gross display in front of him, and he uses his talent,
Uh oh.
um, draw their fire. Well, or maybe hog the spotlight would be more appropriate here. He's going to try to get her attention and kite her uh, up into the next deck,
Okay.
and uh, he says, "When you're done eating with him,
Oh God.
maybe maybe you'll make time for me." And he grabs his shit and he like runs up the stairs.
All right. So, hog the spotlight. How does that work again? When you know how to keep all eyes focused on you, when you succeed at a persuasion test to distract or hold the attention of others, you may spend one momentum to increase the difficulty of all observation tests made by enemies by one. Okay. All right. So yeah. So I guess you're going to make a will persuasion test.
Okay,
Um, with I don't know if you have any focuses in persuasion.
I do not.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's fine.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah. Nah.
Uh,
She doesn't care about you or anything you said. um,
All right.
um, Henry and and Singh. So you guys get down to the aft section of the crew quarters. You have not found Arizona Joe whatsoever. The water is knee high and rising. Um, uh, yeah. So what do you want to do?
Khan will look at Henry
um,
and say, "We must go, Henry. This is becoming very dangerous."
yes, there's no sign of him. Um, all right. So I'm not I'm not metagaming this. Uh, I would normally go away from the water, which is rising from the back towards the front, to go up this gangway right there, this
I think that's
stairwell.
logical. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, you do know there's one inside the galley, but that means going deeper into the ship with rising water. So,
Correct.
yeah. So I mean that's perfectly logical to me. Um, that's perfectly logical to me. So you guys escape that way and go up to the main level. You pop up right there. Uh, uh, Slim is Slim is rushing over. Pilecki's standing around doing whatever Pilecki's doing. People are getting off onto the lifeboats. Uh, the captain is calling for anyone who can swim to go ahead and go jump overboard and swim for the western bank because there's not enough room in the lifeboats. As you guys are up there, and all this is going on, you see Clara Whitmore emerge from that stairwell right there, and she's back to looking the way Clara looks, Slim, except she's covered in blood. Um, I mean, it's all over her face, down her chin, her neck. It's all over her dress. She she gives you a smile and kind of a wave, and then she jumps overboard and goes swimming not towards the west bank, but towards the east bank.
Boy, those Indiana women, something else. And he's just kind of like wide eyed, and he's. I think he's got to take a moment to like collect himself from that. There's like a lot of denial there. I don't think. I mean, he's seen lizard people, but this is like something else entirely. And he just watched Arizona Joe get eviscerated. Um, he reshoulders
Of
his
course,
bag. Huh?
Con and Henry don't know that, so we just look right at Slim and Walter and say, "We didn't find Arizona Joe."
Oh, okay, so everyone's so we reconvene up top.
Yeah, you're all up top.
Yeah,
When we see the bloody woman, and Khan's like, "Oh my God, what has happened to her?"
So Slim sucks
Slim, you
down.
were supposed to protect her. She's covered in blood.
He takes like the longest drag of a cigarette you've ever seen, uh, and he like stares out over the water and he does not respond.
Is
Oh,
Khan aware of Valentine's shock?
And he looks. He looks at the inspector, and you think like there's some like water in his eyes, and he's like quivering a little bit.
Valentine, what has happened?
Uh, Uh, and he looks back and he says, "Joe's gone. He went in a bad way, and it was her that did him in. It was it that did him in.
What are you saying?
She ain't right, Inspector." He like touches his face where she like caressed his jaw, and he's like, "She ain't right, and I, for one, am glad I did not buy her that drink." And he's like, "We got to get the hell out of here."
Well, Henry's being practical. Um, you've got a big bag o' guns that's going to weigh you down a bit. Uh, and we have the notebook that we haven't looked at yet, that if it gets wet, we might lose the ink. So uh, Henry suggests that Slim take the notebook and his guns and protect them and get on one of the lifeboats. And then any
he
of you
holds
other
the bag.
guys, I don't know if you,
He holds the bag
I,
up. Let me through. I have a child.
It's my little brother.
that's funny.
um,
Uh, so Henry doesn't feel that he has a problem swimming to the West Bank, but you guys have to decide for yourself.
we're
I don't think Slim's arguing that.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
and I think looking at the time, we'll basically hand wave this finishing up. Um, it, you guys reconvening on the west bank of the Nile. Everyone's soaking wet. Nobody's particularly happy. The captain and his first mate are there, and they do know that there's a town not far that everyone will be able to get transportation to wherever they need to go. Of course, the captain is very upset about his vessel, but like I said, we're going to just kind of hand wave that. Um, I will say this. This was basically an adventure within the adventure. And I am going to award XP um, for this particular adventure.
Wow,
Um,
Oh,
This
because
was really fun, Marty, by the way.
it was. It was really well done.
It was such a pleasure to just role play and have fun. It was really
I really appreciate that. I wanted this one to be more about the role playing than the mechanics. And
perfect little counterpoint balance thing, between eldritch horror and mystery and then having fun. Like it's perfect.
yeah, the
I
question.
have to say though, I was hoping that Joe would have put a new mustache on in his cabin so that Khan could
Like a blonde
stride up
one.
to him, so that Khan could stride up to him, grab his mustache, and rip it off his face.
You are a charlatan. You do not deserve to wear a mustache. It'd be funny if it was like a blonde one because it was like the last one in
It
time.
was Brian. Yeah,
Like
right.
he only had two, and it's like shit. Got a black wig and a blonde mustache.
That would have been funny. Um, well, yeah, I'm really glad you enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun to put together and do. Um, the the question I have for Baker, or really the truth is for Thermo slash Marty VP, is did you see Clara Whitmore coming?
No,
Um,
not as a monster
the
anyway.
answer, the the answer is I did.
Yeah,
Well, the yellow dress.
yeah, the yellow dress.
So I was purposely not metagaming. I personally waiting for whatever came of her to pop up. But I will say this: um, I saw that she might be something supernatural, but I didn't think she'd be the one to um, Well, it appears she's the one who sank the ship, but that's still not clear. Joe could have still done it, but
Yeah.
why would he? Why would he? His job is
I
to get where we're going.
We didn't have time to look at the notebook, but I'm very curious as to why Lady Green had to croak.
Yeah. Well,
She
we
was
definitely will have to check it out.
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
The point is, it was the yellow dress was a hint.
Yeah. Yeah. The yellow dress was a hint.
That and that she was interested in Slim at all.
Oh, ouch. That's rough. All right.
I don't know, man. Slim's a hell of a dancer.
Yeah, you
I
saw
thought
that back in
I've
Vienna.
seen it, yeah. I've
I
seen
thought
it.
she might be a German spy, but I didn't expect the monster thing, which was awesome. Um, there's a cool bit of role play that the way he treated her somewhat bought him a moment to get away from this hideous creature
Yeah.
to survive.
Yeah, that worked out really good. Like, you're just food to her, but she's got, you know, you're that super tasty treat that she's saving for later.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
Well,
because
and the reason Hachi asked me is that one of his short stories.
Oh,
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I knew he'd
uh,
read it.
yeah, and so I pretended that I had never read the short story.
interesting.
I,
Good on
I,
you, brother. Thanks for keeping the immersion going.
yeah, I love my Easter eggs and my shout outs. So,
But it's
um,
nice of Marty BP to just keep that under wraps
oh
because I
yeah,
did not see the
absolutely.
monster bit coming one bit. I definitely suspected her on the spy front, like Kyle did, but I never saw anything related to monsters in her. So that
That's
was
great.
cool.
Yeah, so he's Arizona Joe Johann Weber. He uh, he has a spell that allows him to detect supernatural and occult influences. And so he he knew that Khan had magic, but he never really interacted with Khan that much, and it never really went anywhere. But his focus was her. He wanted to know what she was. And of course, I guess you guys have to figure out what he was. You know, he was German. You know, he was a spy on some level. So
Can you say which one of the two was the one who tried to take over Khan?
it was him. It
What
was
was he
him.
trying to do?
He wasn't really trying to take you over as much as he was just trying to he was trying to put some misdirection in your head towards Lady Green, and you pushed him out. It didn't work, so then he had to do the dirty work himself.
By the
Gotcha.
way, what was the spell he tried to cast that failed?
It's called Split the Flesh, and it's exactly
Wow.
what it sounds like.
Whoa, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. But
Really?
he failed so horribly that nothing happened. She just laughed at him.
It gives you like a giant chap,
Yeah, yeah.
like how your thumbs and fingers get in winter, but your whole body.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, exactly. It literally tears your skin open. It's pretty
Shit.
horrible.
This is gonna be awesome for him to like process later. I love this. So,
All right,
All
should
right.
we
I'm
be
turning into a pumpkin.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
me too.
yeah. December 5th.
December 5th? Works for me.
All right. Yeah, if one of you wants to touch base with Jim and think about what improvements you guys want to make to your characters, we'll hand out XP first thing December 5th.
Awesome.
Sweet. I'll let him know.
All right, cool. All right, guys. See you around.
Sounds good. See you guys.
Roger. Bye,
Yep.
guys.
Bye.
Thank you.